freelancer kind of a thing. So there's some flexibility.
Gotcha.
Do you see what theirs and take what's ours?
Mm-hmm.
We stay hungry, we devour.
So hungry.
I don't know anything about pop music, but I do know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's rap album.
I
Oh,
don't
I
think
see
that's
the knock. I'm
considered
knocking.
pop.
Is it not?
I'm knocking.
I kinda. I think it is.
Stream Together only supports Chrome and Firefox. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
You don't have to
Okay.
actually have it open for anything though. Like I use Opera too, so I'm like, it just won't work, and then I gotta go just open a Chrome tab and then do it there.
It's cool. All right,
But
sure.
you don't need to like keep it open.
Hmm. Oh, also, I hope you guys don't mind, but for just like visual backgrounds, you don't mind if I swap between some of your runs and whatnot, right?
No, go for it.
No, that's fine.
Just cause I think it's cool. Like if I don't know if Waifu wants to talk like their speedrun stuff to have their speedrun stuff in the background. I'm artsy like that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Of course. Of course, of course.
I care, as some people may say. Why do I gotta say that as if like me caring's an option? I don't think that's the best thing for visuals, actually. No, I care a lot. X that. 10 seconds didn't exist.
I don't
Well,
even have
here.
other browsers installed. I'm fixing it up. My God, I'm so unprepared for this.
Me too.
Yeah. Where do you see like your collaboration thing with other people when they knock? Just so I know what to look for.
1 second. I'm getting my setup and all.
This is all pre-show, people. I hope you're ready for a bunch of actuallys, and then tech issues.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
The show's live when I put my glasses on so that I can push them up the bridge of my nose when I make a point. So that's what my chat knows when the show is live and this isn't like, you know, green room chatter banter. All right.
Maybe
And we were supposed to have Devo as well, chat, but he's like a dad now, so.
Yeah, it has too many family obligations. Give a big, or not a big, give some big love to Devo. They couldn't be here. I'm sad.
Their music will live on in our hearts. It's okay.
Yeah, same person, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I am live, by the way.
Ah, cool. Let's see here. Maybe I'll start to try to initiate the collab stream on you.
I invited you, right, True?
Oh, okay, cool. Where do I see that I'm invited?
That's a good question. It should be on your stream dashboard, maybe.
Maybe it's because I don't have the doc for it. Maybe there's like a dedicated doc.
Oh my God, there's like it's auto playing someone, like I'm not logged into Twitch on Firefox and it's auto playing someone else's fucking,
Yeah.
Oh, it's Oro. Okay, I like Oro, but still.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no.
just trying. Oh my God, chat. I'm so sorry.
There. I think I invited everyone now, but let's see.
Click to accept.
There we go.
Where the frick
Oh,
are you
there.
seeing yours, Alu? Huh.
It's in your like notifications, like the box.
There's a notifications box? What? I'm so
The
behind.
notifications box
Twitch.
by your turbo button, by where your whispers are, like at the top. It's like top right is like your profile picture. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then to the left of that, there's like a notifications box. It's next to like Prime stuff.
Okay, yeah, I guess I just never seen the icon before.
There you go. Maynard's in here.
Why am I the tech grandma who doesn't know anything?
Someone's got to
Twitch
be.
wants to use my microphone? Hang on.
It might just
You
be
can,
my
you can just turn that off. Yeah, it's like a built-in
block.
chat
No.
and stuff, but you can just be like,
Yeah, no. Get out of here. Don't. Okay. All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
Sick.
One day, right, sure, we'll catch up.
One day I will be. Yeah, but it's so weird. Okay, wait, I gotta Streaming error. Oh, perfect timing. Thank you. Could not access channel or stream key. Oh, this is great.
Nice.
What the heck? You were working 5 seconds ago. All right. Well,
You have to be live to join the squad stream. As a prerequisite, unfortunately.
yeah. Okay. So let me fix the streaming thing real quick then.
Mhm.
Heck did that even happen? All right.
Live.
Oh, okay. Finally, it's live. Whew.
Nice.
Okay.
Probably need to
Part
invite you
1
again.
completed. Get ready.
There,
for
I sent you
part
another invite. See if that
Yeah, maybe if I just... I'm not getting the notification. Maybe I... Yeah, it's okay. It's super strange. I'm not getting the notification still.
just try to send you an
What if I
invite
just go to
again.
your stream and I hit knock? Would that work?
I don't know. Try.
Oh, I can hit join.
There you go.
I
Because
think
you already
I-
have an invite.
Yeah,
There
because
you
I
go.
already have an invite. I think we might be in. Cool. And then we can do the shared chats thing, or
Yeah.
how to... Shared chat is
Share
on.
chat.
Hi,
You-
everyone's
you
chat
sh-
can see
You should
everybody.
meet yourself on
Yeah.
this on the Twitch pop-up retro.
You are correct.
Oh.
Up.
Alu's gone.
Alu has left the
Oh.
building.
Oh,
What did I
You're
do?
back.
Okay,
Nothing.
are we good?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Looks
Okay.
good.
But yeah, no, I think that's all the tech stuff.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're fine. But yeah,
It's the
no,
first time for everything.
So how does one do an intro for these things? Anybody?
You want us to do the intro? It's your thing.
It's
You invited us.
Wait, does that mean I'm legally required to give the intro? Is that how it works?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Well, hi people. Welcome to quick. We have to think. Okay, if I do the intro, we have to think of the name. What are we calling this?
Name? Does it need a name? I don't know. Just
Doom-
describe it with nouns.
Doom the Dark Ages
adjectives.
discussion. TM trademarked. All us.
Proprietary
Sounds about right.
limited.
Unless I revoke my rights later, which I reserve the right to do. But
Fair.
no, but there's a new Doom game that came out, and I figured it would just be super fun because last I checked, we have Alu, who's speedrunner, challenge runner, Maynarde, speedrunner, challenge runner. Oh, Waifu, speedrunner, challenge runner, and then there's me. And I don't know. I feel like people just don't hear from us, and I figured it'd be cool to like go and talk about all things Doom from the challenge speedrunner perspective. You know, thoughts on it casually. Maybe branch into what we think challenge runs and speedruns look like at this. Alu and I know we both completed a challenge run already. The same one actually.
Yep.
Waifu, I've been seeing you doing speedruns, and Maynard, you've been sticking with the pandemonium, right?
I'm pandemoning still, yes. I feel like I still am learning this game. Like the game is humbling me quite a bit. But I also have been refusing to play on not 150% speed.
Oh, nice.
And I really like that minimum parry window because it feels really good. So I have been forcing myself to learn with that and not build up slowly. Just going. My first run was not quite max sliders. I think I brought the damage down from 500 to 300%. But other than that, I maxed everything out my first playthrough. So
Wow.
it took me like a week.
Maynard, that 20 I gave you PayPal earlier is paying off because that's my first question was, how was your first playthrough experience and what sliders did you adjust?
Damage. I started off with 500% damage and I got like, I couldn't even beat Colleen. I got stuck in the second to last battle before the turret segment and I was dying to almost instant transmission soldier laser dumbbells. So I brought them down to 300%, which was a lot more reasonable. And then I won as soon as I brought it down to 300%. I'm like, okay, we'll keep it here because it's all about customizing your experience and having the playthrough you want with the sliders. So I got there and I found the fun zone.
Yeah, no, I guess since we're talking about sliders, and sorry if this is a little bit too woke, promise no politics, but I like the sliders. When I first played through the game, I first set it to minimum parry window. I got through like
Mhm.
about 4 or 5 levels on it, felt the game was very slow at 100% speed, so I'm like, okay, what happens if I turn the speed up just a little bit? I bumped it up to like 130%, I think. And then I found like literally I was just having the most fun like I've had up until that point. My eyes
Yeah, I
turned
felt
black, rolled into the back of my head, and next thing I know, the slider was at 150, and I was playing with that for the rest of the playthrough.
yeah, it felt slow on default settings for me for sure. I wish I turned up my game speed a bit my first playthrough. I just did the parry window, but that definitely helped.
Yeah, when I played, I did my first playthrough, and I had like I put on Nightmare for my first playthrough. I'm thinking we all probably all did, right? Or did anyone not?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I put it on.
Yeah, and so like I found that the game was like pretty easy and also like kind of slow, the default settings. And so I pretty much didn't die for like the first 6 missions, and then I got to Siege. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna start messing with the sliders because I was intending to do my whole first playthrough with like default settings. Just like intended experience or whatever. And then I'm like, man, like I'm gonna get bored. I'm gonna like not be enjoying the game by the end of it. Just because I knew it was supposed to be long as well. So I bumped up pretty much everything except for damage to player, like pretty high, about as high as I could go, and then it was like unplayable. I like could not do it. Because I think the difficulty spike in just the campaign itself also happens at Siege. I feel like that's where like it gets harder. It's where you get like the first boss fights and stuff, right?
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
I refer to Siege as like the new cultist base.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like,
Mhm.
or I guess like in 2016 maybe like Argent Tower, maybe like when
Yeah.
you sort of have that just before that big power spike where it's like the most dangerous, where you're most likely going to lose Ultra Nightmare. Like that, I
Yeah,
think that's the new.
I agree, and that is the exact spot that I decided to up my sliders, and so it was a perfect storm of like, oh, the
Oh,
game is
no.
now getting harder, and also I up my sliders, and so I went like 150 and like fastest projectiles and smallest parry window and stuff, and that first boss fight where you have the powered mank who gives you like the armor upgrade or whatever, where you first fight your cyber demon.
The
I was
morale
stuck in that
encounters.
arena. Yeah, the morale encounter. I was stuck in that arena for like 4 hours.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's a tough
I
one.
swear.
They're tough.
Yeah, and that was like that arena is where I bumped up all my settings. And I decided
don't know.
like I was like, okay, I like projectile speed. I like parry window because I didn't feel like I was missing parries and stuff as much. But then I bumped my speed down to 130, and that was like perfect. As soon as I beat that encounter at 130, the whole rest of the game felt like really well balanced, and like I was like playing in a really fun way. Like I found the fun zone. But it took me like 4 hours on that common encounter to like relearn how to play the game at those higher settings, and then like really find the fun again. Because I actually noticed that when I was playing on default settings, the game was so easy that I could just not engage in some of the mechanics. Like I could just like fight the cyber demon and like not parry and not care about certain things even on Nightmare because I just wouldn't get punished for it because the default settings were like too easy. And then I had to completely relearn the game basically from scratch in that arena because of like turning up all the settings. I wonder if any of you guys had a similar experience where like you feel like you learned to play the game like completely differently after you up the settings at all.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I definitely had that.
Yeah, no, Alu and I were actually explicitly talking about this as we were in the call before y'all showed up. We did the same challenge run of taking all those sliders and what happens if you play the game if you make them the most difficult option for every single one.
Mhm.
And Alu, do you know how long that took you to beat?
Well, I did it. The only difference between ours is that I did 100% for my whole file,
Yeah.
but it was still 45 to 50 hours for the run.
Yeah, I didn't do complete 100% for it, and I got around a 50-hour final time for.
I did 100%, and I think it was about 50 hours as well. I think it took me a week,
Jeez.
and I did not do short streams. They were like 7-8 hour streams.
That's gnarly.
Same.
That was
But-
gnarly. I did not do that at all. I just did my first
I
playthrough at like most things max except for speed 130, and I
think
didn't
that's the
touch
right way to do
damage.
it. I think that's the right way to do it. I'm just mentally ill. I don't think Alu is. I think Alu is just a juicer.
No, I'm with you there.
I ended levels and it said 99%, and I'm like, shit, Chad, I'm so sorry. Even though that level took me like 4 hours, we're replaying it. So
Oh God.
I go back in, and then I didn't realize that you could basically Mega Man exit until someone in chat told me that you can like get the thing you missed and then just quit to menu, and then it's 100%. Because I would
I
just
had to get told
replay
that
the whole
too.
level. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I did not know
could have
that.
saved
I
hours.
just learned that
I
just
could have
now.
saved hours. So
Oh, I
At
never.
least we have that.
I never even tried because I do have the compulsion to when I'm in the level, like I need to get all the collectibles while I'm there. But if I get to the end and see like, oh, 98%, it's like I'm not going back in. I don't care. Next one.
How is 100% in this game? I've not done it yet. I have
So
not done 100%
it's
playthrough. Yeah.
I just have this loot goblin thing. I just love completing shit. It's like all of my runs that I've done in 2016 and Eternal are usually 100% runs because I just love the feeling of collecting stuff and clearing a map completely. You know, like even when I played Metroidvanias and you'd have those giant maps, there'd be like that one corner of that one room that's still blacked out. I'm like, nah, I got to jump up there so it's a full room. You know, like I just
I'm the
like
same way.
completing. It's that kind of completionist brain. And 100% in this game is it's definitely like I keep wanting to use the word slog, but I think slog is unfair because it implies that I didn't have fun, like it was a chore. But it's definitely like very I don't know, finicky. Like you can miss one gold, you know.
Yeah. That looks brutal. About like the individual
'cause there's
gold
so many
pieces being
resources now.
tracked.
Yeah, it's not just like Praetor suit tokens and like and like level up upgrades. You know, it's not like health and armor and ammo and that kind of thing. It's like gold, rubies, wraith stones, and all that, plus the mission challenges, which are thankfully really easy to do in this Doom. The mission challenges, they're not like, you know, glory kill this demon, which there is only one of from behind.
Oh God, those challenges in Eternal are so bad.
While 90% of the way
There's-
through the game, don't fuck it up. Otherwise, 100% is invalid. Yeah.
Yeah,
that one.
Alu definitely knows this, but there is one challenge that is only one challenge that's like that, and I think that's the 2 barons at the last mission of
God.
the game. You have to kill them within 5 seconds.
That one is on maximum sliders. We also had the other restriction of not using the BFC. So doing that on max sliders without BFC, killing 2 barons within 5 seconds is not easy.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
And it's the only spot in the whole level too where you can get it. There's like another opportunity later. So
Yeah.
yeah, so those
And it's
didn't
at the-
escape.
It does exist. There's only one of them. There's not like 3 of them like there are in Eternal, right? Yeah, I didn't do 100% completion because I felt, I don't know, there's some critiques I have of like the game's gameplay loop and stuff, and I feel like a lot of those things kind of blend together. Like the same criticism applies to multiple different things. And like I was talking earlier about it kind of just being like really easy on default settings, especially like pretty earlier on. And I think that it feeds into that where like you get really punished for trying to switch weapons. And so with the game like being kind of easy and also incentivizing you to use like one weapon, and then also the maps being so big, it's just like why would I did like one mastery. I think I did the super shotgun mastery, and I was like, oh, I don't get like anything for this really, not like a big upgrade
Just
or
the
anything. I
skin.
just get just a skin, and then I never tried to master anything else in my playthrough. It's just like why bother, you know?
I guess since we're talking like game quality wise, I'm pretty sure you guys who have streamed have had this question, so I figure it's the obvious one to ask. 2016 Eternal Dark Ages. What's the right order?
There's gonna be some opinions on that one.
Yes,
yeah,
already
so-
into hot takes. I'm fine.
And there's one correct opinion.
There's one correct
Yeah.
opinion. Okay, so for me personally, and I have a lot of friends, well, by a lot of friends I mean 2, which is 2 more than I thought.
That's a lot
who
for me.
Who believe that 2016 is the GOAT, and there is nothing replacing 2016. Eternal didn't land anywhere near as much as 2016 did. I, however, am of the opinion that Eternal is the GOAT. That's number 1 for me. And Dark Ages for me, I'm pretty sure it isn't recency bias because I actually feel like it's a super polished, really, really, really fun game the whole way through. I know it was nearly 9 years ago since 2016 came out, and I definitely really enjoyed it when I first played it. But this game really landed for me. So it's number 2, which means obviously 2016 is 3. for me.
So why do you hate 2016?
Because I really dislike the world record holder in Ultra Nightmare 100%.
Fair.
I see.
Actually, if that's your reason,
Um,
I can't even fight with that. It's just true.
Uh-oh, drama.
No, it's one of those things. I always bring it up as my example is like Dark Souls 2. All right, so Dark Souls 2 is a game that people like to shit on, and people like to say that it's a terrible game, but I actually think it's a great game. But it is my least favorite Souls game. Does that mean it's bad? No. It just means that I like all the other ones more than that. And it's the same with 2016. I think 2016 is fucking awesome. I've played it for 1,500 hours. I'll play it for probably another 1,500 hours. I will keep playing it till the day I die because I fucking love that game. But I just like the other ones more at the moment. And I mean, and by at the moment, I mean maybe Dark Ages moves around, but Eternal's not moving. Eternal's number one for me.
That's fair.
It's kind of like how people say that the Beatles are underrated, but they're the most famous band in the history of ever. So
Who the fuck is saying the Beatles are underrated?
Literally who? Yeah, what?
well,
I try to make it
yeah.
up a person.
But it's okay. Some people say that the Beatles are so good that
Beatles.
yeah, they're the most popular band, but they should be even more popular because they're just that good.
That's wild.
Hey,
They're
those people
wrong.
exist.
I mean,
Those people think that
they've done
2016
pretty
is the
well
best
for a
too.
band. They surprisingly don't have that big of a discography, the Beatles. So it's pretty amazing what they've done with the,
That is true.
relatively short career they had.
Yeah. Speaking of short careers, Alu. That segue didn't make sense. What do
Okay,
you
bud.
think?
All right.
man.
All right.
I would say I've been saying I will always like 2016 more. I think I appreciated the just overall as a game. Like I think gameplay, like peak gameplay, I think Eternal is probably still up there for me. But I've got a spot in my heart for 2016. I loved the cinematic presentation of the game.
I do think
I love the
2016 has the strongest, most coherent story.
Yes.
I do feel that about 2016 still.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. And I don't know. I just it's just a personal favorite. I love 2016, but I will say that Eternal's gameplay is I'd say it's above. And Dark Ages is really growing on me. At first I put it lower than all three of them just overall, but I don't know. It's kind of pushing up for me.
So, which one? Eternal, Dark Ages. Gotta put
2016
one. Ties aren't allowed.
You know what? I'm actually gonna say 2016, then Dark Ages, then Eternal for me right now. Kind of spicy,
Whoa.
Wow.
but
But they're all ranked
Ooh.
high, right? Like
All right.
they're
Chat,
really
one
close.
is
way
Don't
better
get
than the
Out a little
other.
more, chat.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. They're all really close, but I'm having such a good time with Dark Ages right now, and maybe it's a honeymoon
Mhm.
period. Maybe it'll wear off, but right now it's
Yeah.
it's second for me.
So that last alley raid we did was our last one.
People out
You
here
know,
having
fair
incorrect
enough.
takes.
You just can't be having them around here.
I don't.
No, I think you're right. It's valid. You are valid, Alu, and appreciated.
I think that,
Thank you.
yeah, I think that's valid.
Thanks.
For myself, we gotta have Ryder go last since he's the host. But
Sure, yeah.
for myself, personally, Eternal's the GOAT for sure. I think it's like top 10 best games ever made. So it's in context of that statement is the other games, right? Like just because the other games are like lower on my personal ranking does not mean that I don't think they're bad by any means, right? Like you're comparing it to one of the best games of all time, in my opinion.
And
Yeah.
you hate
But-
them, gotcha.
Yeah, obviously I hate them. The burning passion. I'm just trying to, make people not hate me. But no, actually, I think for me it's Eternal first, and I think Dark Ages second, and then 2016 third. I originally put 2016 above Dark Ages when I did my first playthrough, because I was like, man, these mech and dragon sections make this game like
Mm,
a 7.5
yeah.
out of 10.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but
Dark
on- I
Ages
was
took
like-
till- I think
Yeah,
Siege
go
1
ahead.
is when it started to move up, I think. Yeah, but anyway, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. And I was like, man, with these sections, it really depends on how I feel after like 10 more playthroughs. Right? It's
Mhm.
like
Yep.
on the next 10 playthroughs, am I gonna absolutely hate these sections and be like moaning the whole time, or is it just gonna be like okay? And I was like, if it's just okay, or maybe I even find some fun in them, then I think maybe the game even goes up. I gave it like a 7.5 when I first beat it, And I think that it has. For me, it's like an 8 to an 8.5. It like went up a whole point because the mech sections in particular are actually quite fun. Playing them at 150% speed makes them way more fun.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also trying to like min-max your combos on them just like makes them way more enjoyable. The dragon sections are just not fun. I moan when I play them every time, but they're not as bad as I thought they were going to be. And like everything else I think is super, super solid, you know? And those are like the key factors, right? Like, and for me, it's like 2016 is like an 8 out of 10. Dark Ages is like an 8 out of 5, 8.5, and Eternal's a 10, right? Like those are all like really close to each other. But for me, the mech and the dragon sections bring it down. And then also like just I don't know, overall cohesion, I feel like.
Yeah.
What about you, Retro?
I agree with that.
Okay, I probably have the hottest take out of everyone, gonna be real,
Oh,
so I'm
looking
glad
forward to
I'm
this.
last. So,
All right, here we go.
if we're I like to judge games by 2 metrics, so I guess I'll just give both answers. The first one's fun factor, just like what's the raw enjoyment I think I have playing a game. In that one, I think I give it to Dark Ages at number 1. I mean this with the context that Bullet Hell was like my favorite arcade games like back in the day, and my parents were big arcade game nerds. The little restaurant in the town I worked at had like a little arcade machine of this game called like 1943 or something. It was like a fighter plane game, Bullet Hell. We would play that all the time. So in this game is just Bullet Hell as well as just being a Doom game, an arena shooter. It's like all that overstimulation with the projectiles flying everywhere just caters to my like, I guess, I don't know, my need to be overstimulated in a way that hits just right. So I'd put that at 1. And then Eternal, for all its bugginess and for all its mechanics that falter or break, definitely given that second place for fun factor, just because it's a little bit more in that direction. 2016, and as much as I respect 2016, like, you don't knock the goats, I do think it's just like kind of the same thing of shooting, not thinking, and some people love Doom for that. I just like a little bit more out of a game. And then if I'm going by,
I can agree with that.
if I'm going reversed, like my other metric, which usually goes like, you know, the quality for what the game is trying to do, I think Doom, the 2016, just can't be beat with everything from a design vision standpoint. Then it probably goes Eternal and Dark Ages, and I can't make up which one's second or third. I think Dark Ages just barely goes ahead of Eternal. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's just, I struggle to find flaws in something like Doom 2016, but if you ask me to find a flaw in Dark Ages or Eternals, like, I got one at a drop of a hat. Like,
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense. It's like
sure,
I honestly
yeah.
feel if you relate that back, it's like 2016 is the most concise and clean. It's like flawless type beat, you know, like there's some issues, right? But like nothing crazy. There's no like mech sections, you know, no
Yeah,
dragon
exactly.
sections you
It
can
has
point to.
like it has less in it to get wrong, I think.
Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree. But because of that, it also is like not the master of anything. I feel like it's like vanilla ice cream. Like it's really good, right? But like I feel like it doesn't have a particular flavor. And for me, it doesn't appeal to me as much, right? It's like I'd rather have something that's more niche down than something that's just like is clean. If that makes sense.
yeah, no, I think 2016 is like the definition of something simple done well.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
Eternal's, like, okay, I guess not every aspect of Eternal, but the story department for Eternal is the definition of complicated and not told well. But hey,
This
we're
is-
a bunch
yeah.
of challengers. Who cares about the story, anywho? Did you guys think anything
That's
about
what
the
I'm
story
saying.
in this game, anywho?
I tried. I legit tried. I watched the cutscenes and was
Yep.
like, this
Yeah,
is the spot. Like it's a prequel. This is like the perfect spot. Maybe I'll finally understand what's happening. I literally could not tell you a single fucking thing that happened in this game.
Yeah,
Is
I
it-
couldn't tell
like-
you what happened.
It is impossible to understand what's going on. The presentation is awful. The cutscenes look really pretty,
Yeah.
but the presentation of the information is just terrible. Like I could not tell you a game that does it worse probably with this budget. Thankfully it's Doom, so like I don't care, you know, like whatever. But
Mhm.
I was really hoping that I saw this as an opportunity for them to be like, hey, look, some people are big codex nerds that like know the lore and
Yeah.
stuff, and they think it's really cool. And this would be a time to like bring that presentation somewhere to like a mainstream audience, like people who aren't Codex nerds, might actually care, and they just didn't. They're just like, nah, all good.
I feel like with the story, the prequel is an excellent time to like fill in some of the gaps, but I don't think that story wise they filled in any gaps or explained anything, or they actually just added a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It's
like
more-
I feel like at the end of Eternal there was already so many things to be like, oh wow, that's a lot. Like there's a lot of new characters here. There's a lot of new names given to things that we only knew, we only had whispers of. Suddenly there's the divinity machine is discussed and shown to you and all sort of stuff, and Ancient Gods really like goes to 11 really quickly to a point where I really think they blew their wad with the tag storyline, Ancient Gods storyline, and then Dark Ages. I don't know, like the Slayer's Testaments from 2016, right? Like that's what Hugo said. Dark Ages is meant to be story wise. But I don't remember Commander Thera and King Novik and like that kind of thing from those. And all of it's cool. I guess the makers were sort of shown in an Eternal first, and then actually given like some stage time in the Dark Ages, besides like the Khan Maker and the drones that you headshot for restacks.
What are you talking about? Samuel Hayden, who is like what, Archangel, like second hands to God, basically. He's in 2016.
I'm so sad.
I like him
about
more
what
when he's
happened to
just a funny robot guy.
Yeah, like that's actually like the part of the reason why I liked 2016 a lot story wise was the fact that I liked the characters more. Well, character,
Yeah.
because there's Olivia, and then there's Samuel Hayden, and then there's an AI,
Mhm.
and those are the three characters in the game, right? But
Yep.
Samuel Hayden, like I kind of like he's obviously he's fully unhinged. He's like Thanos, right? Like he's trying to solve an extreme problem very extremely. He's going further beyond than other people would have the stomach for. And you can kind of get it when a villain's like that. You're like, I disagree with you, but I kind of understand why you're doing this crazy thing. That's what I was like with
Absolutely.
Samuel Hayden.
I will say,
But I
26
don't know what the fuck anyone's doing in Eternal.
No one does.
And Dark
Agreed.
Ages is very much like we have a MacGuffin. The Heart of Argent is a new thing. We've just introduced it in this game. It's a MacGuffin. It's literally what it is. The definition of MacGuffin is what this is. It's an object that serves no purpose other than just to move the story along. And it's something that turns powerful guy into God guy because he just wants to be the most powerful guy because he's threatened by the Slayer because everyone is. And that's the story. I don't know. I enjoy summer blockbusters and dumb superhero movies. Like I actually find summer blockbusters and action movies like Jason Statham movies, shit like that. I have fun with those. So I had fun with the Doom: The Dark Ages story, just enjoying the flashing lights and explosions and the very like Prince Arscrack literally says he literally says, "I'll show you true power." And I'm like, all right, this is like straight out of like comic books and stuff, which is fine. Because I like comic books.
I think that's what it's meant to be
Yeah,
as well.
it
I think
feels
that's what
like-
they intended.
Yeah.
It feels like
If that's what they were
overly-
going for, they
Yeah.
nailed it. Like, but
Mhm.
I've been checked out of the story for years. Is
Yeah.
basically the TLDR.
Yeah,
Same.
Ass-Crack feels like what, overly edgy villain for who's overly edgy
Yeah.
because
I
he
like
just
his
needs
design.
to be.
I think he looks awesome. I like his
Yeah, it
design.
looks really cool.
I
Looks
really
like Devil
wish
May
Arscrack-
Crybaby
I-
on the second one.
I really
Yeah.
wish Arscrack was the final. Was like in Tag. I wish they didn't bring in the Dark Lord. They just had like a guy like Arscrack. You know what I mean? I feel like the Dark Lord needed to be bigger than that.
Oh, if we're comparing final bosses, I think like this
I'm just
Ass-Crack's
talking
way
about, like, on a
better than
lore
Dark
aspect.
Lord. Not
on- on
anything
a lore
benefit towards
aspect.
Ass-Crack, but Dark Lord's just that low of a
the
bar.
fight's definitely better. The fight's definitely better. 100%.
Yeah, I always.
I don't know. I feel like. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think this game, because there's many ways you can judge stories. This game, what it nails in the story department is that it uses its story as an excuse to set up fun gameplay stuff, like the resurrection mission, the Harbor of Souls,
was
for
really cool.
example. Like, from a logistical plot standpoint, it makes no sense anything that's going on right now. Why does Doom Guy have a super shotgun in hell when he died? I don't get it, but. But it sets up a very fun, like, oh, wait, climbing yourself out of hell mission. And so it's like, I think it succeeds in that department. But if I start judging it by other metrics, I'm going to find myself insane. Like,
Yeah,
think-
to me, it just feels
For
like the
sure.
presentation itself is the biggest thing that suffers. It's like even the stuff that happens on paper in it is like really cool, but it's just like you just don't care because the way they present it, it's like they just introduce like 6 new characters and never even actually introduce them, and they're like, this is just what's happening now, and you're just supposed to care, and I'm just like, I don't though, you know, and they never give you a reason to, like the whole time.
I mean, as a stretch, they did kind of give you more information on the wraiths, which is something I don't remember seeing since like the end of 2016. You know, there's things you stab in the orb in their chest, and then you unlock the gateway to the final boss. And I guess Argent Denor is also like not hellified yet. That's something that's kind of like shown in the Dark Ages. It's kind of expands on lore a bit, but it really like, and Eternal had this as well, where I really felt like in 2016 it made sense when you were going from one level to another. Like it felt like you were progressing through something, but you need to follow Olivia into hell, so you're finding a thing that can get you there, and that kind of thing. In 2016 is an example. In Eternal and in the Dark Ages, it really felt like we're here now. Now we're here now, and now we're here now. And now we're here now, and it felt like why are we here? How did we get here?
Oh,
it's an excuse to put these really cool, like these really, really, really incredibly designed environments and set pieces. Just kind of like they could have been in a lot of different orders.
Yeah, say what you want about 2016. There is never like a string of missions where the whole reason you're there is because the villain's having a plot critical conversation and you're attacking them, and then they just go, "No, we're not fighting," and then you're on to the next thing. Like,
yeah.
That's so true.
But yeah, that's my long and short of the story. I don't really have a whole lot else to.
Alu, you got any thoughts on the story?
I kind of the same, where it's like I kind of like it as it's just an action movie story, and like you're there for the action, and it's kind of there to support just summer blockbuster action.
There's a reason why we have to drive cars in space. There's no other way.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Like I don't need it to be super deep, and I that's why I kind of dislike it when it tries to go really like deep cinematic universe, fantasy, like super lore stuff. I kind of rather it just be a little more supportive, but that's just me. Some people really care about it, and I won't fault them for that.
Okay, just because I think it'd be fun. I actually have a list of what people say are common criticisms of this game. And I think it'd be cool to just say them and we can talk about if we agree or not.
Oh, I have a lot to say about these criticisms, man. The ones that are the popular ones.
Well, we already talked about what sliders were used, so we already established this as a woke conversation, so...
yeah, true.
That is true.
We've tackled that already.
I'm wearing my hat today, but it's all blue under there.
But people say that the parry mechanic is very gimmicky and overused. Agree or disagree? Starting with Waifu.
I have a lot to say about this. So my like main speed game is Devil May Cry 3, and that game is completely dominated by a parry mechanic. And so like I am all about parry mechanics. I love parry mechanics. My biggest gripe with this game is that I do feel like the game like overly relies on the parry. It's like the only thing that you can do. I described it this way when I was talking to it about my chat before. It's like I feel like in Doom Eternal, there's lots of different like very valuable like play styles that you can have that just kind of emerge through using different tools. And in Dark Ages, you have one play style, like you can parry, right? And like you can have a bunch of different supporting cast to help your parrying, like you use the Impaler or you use the Super Shotgun or you use the rocket launcher or whatever. But like the core of the gameplay is parrying, and like you just have to do it basically. And I think that it makes the game not as fun to like engage with on a more like super long-term basis. It's like if you're not a huge fan of the parry system, then like you just aren't gonna like the game that much. And I also think that the parry system is too easy. Even the hardest slider is way too generous. And I'm pretty sure there's no parry protection at all for spamming. So I think that you could literally just bind it to scroll wheel and just let it go, and you'll never miss a parry. Because I mash parry all the time, and it is like I like never miss parries.
Yeah, the minimum parry window in this game is actually just super generous, even still. Like, compared to like.
And maybe I like to admit that like maybe it's just that I'm like hyper used to them because like I come from like Devil May Cry 3 or just for like example in that game the parry is like a optional style that you can use. and the game runs at 60 FPS, and the parry window is 3 frames. So like you're hitting like hundreds of those throughout the game, and they're 3 frames at 60 FPS, like 1/20th of a second. Is a really small window. I feel like this has got to be like 4 to 5 times the size of that.
Yeah.
And I think that
It's
if it
pretty
was that
big.
small in this game, that it wouldn't be fun. But I also think that as big as it is, it's probably too easy. Like, and like even just let the slider adjust further. You know, like if they want the core gameplay to be approachable for people that aren't like super good at parry games, that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
But like the slider should go further, I feel.
Yeah, I do foresee. I wonder what modders are gonna do when they just open up like the console commands and we're like, oh, they're just adjusting this value. Let's make it so that you can expand it between instead of plus 500%, plus 1,000% or something. But
Mhm.
I'm kind of in the opposite point of you where I like the parry in this, and I think the parry fundamentally in this game is very good. I like it a lot, like how green attacks and only certain attacks you can parry. But I think there's a lot of just BS around it. Like, if I told you what a Hell Surge parry was, do you gentlemen know what a Hell Surge parry is?
No, that's really
Yes.
confusing. The two
I mean,
different ones.
I think it's just I took it as being like more like ground slams, but I think it's also some melee attacks, right?
So, okay, so your shield rune, it triggers whenever you do a ranged Hell Surge attack, which is different than just regular Hell Surge attacks. But basically that'll trigger your shield rune. But for weapons like the mace where you get melee charges from parrying, like the Dread Mace, for example, gives you an extra charge if you parry a Hell Surge, just a regular Hell Surge attack, not a ranged one. But the game doesn't have any resources to tell you what a Hell Surge attack is. So the only thing that really separates a Hell Surge attack from a regular parryable attack is I'm pretty sure the developer put a tag on what was a Hell Surge and what wasn't, and that's it. Like, there's
really?
no other internal logic.
I thought it was. See, I tried to use like Cannibal on the rocket launcher, right? And I couldn't figure it out because like it's only specific types of parries, right? And so like
Yeah.
and I could not tell the difference between them. And so I'd like shoot myself with the rocket and die and be like, well, this isn't fun. I'm not doing that anymore.
From
You know,
what
because
Yeah, I tested it
Yeah.
a little bit, and from what I could tell, the only thing that's guaranteed a Hell Surge is when you parry an attack and it falters a demon. That seems to be consistently a Hell Surge parry for melees. For ranged Hell Surge melees, I don't know. You just gotta for ranged Hell Surge attacks, you just gotta parry it and find out. I think most ranged projectiles trigger your shield rune, so I think every ranged is like technically a Hell Surge. But yeah, no, there's just a bunch of bullcrap like that where it's like you could have really just like made a system or tutorial text box somewhere where I could just make this more easily understandable, but there just isn't a lot.
yeah. I also want to back up. Like I don't disagree with you. I think that the parry system is really fun. I like the gimmick, and like I think it's done well. I just wish personally that it was harder. But I totally get why you wouldn't like the parry system. Like a lot of people don't like it. And if you don't, then the game is just bad. Like if there isn't any like playing around it really, and just being like, oh, I'm just gonna not
Yeah.
engage with the system. Like you have to. So whereas I feel like 2016 and Eternal aren't really like that. Like you can play in different ways if you don't like one style, you know. But
yeah,
like
because
if you don't like the parry system, you just don't like the game.
Yeah, the only amount of choice you have in this game when it comes to combat playstyle is what gun you're using. Because you will always be parrying, throwing your shield and stuff if you're trying to do that optimally. Because, in fact, a lot of guns feed back into that system, too, like giving you empowered shots and whatnot. But other than that, it's like, unlike Eternal, where it's just like you have mobility and then like what you're doing is defined by your weapon, it's like now your weapon's just like an aspect of it and it's more defined by like augmenting your shield and playstyle more than anything.
Yeah.
Maynard, you got any thoughts on the parry mechanic?
I think that the most important thing for a parry mechanic is for it to feel satisfying. Like I feel like I did a good thing when I pushed the button, right? And a lot of the games that I enjoy the most that have parry mechanics in them have some incredible sound design in them. And I think that like you know the clang in Sekiro, the flash and the sound effect in Lies of P when you parry, for instance. And I think that the sound effects in Dark Ages are like really fucking spectacular. I'm a big fan of pretty much of all the sound design in that game, which goes a long way for me for parry. I do think the minimum parry window is still quite generous. I agree with that. I could even enjoy maybe like I don't know, maybe 75% of that window, maybe not half. That might be too much. But someone in my chat brought up a good point where it's not a third-person action game. You're first person, and yes, you can have like an indicator, a damage indicator, let you know that there's a parry coming off to the side or from behind you. But I completely agree that in first person, you can't get too crazy with parry timings. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes perfect sense to me.
Especially, on higher speeds with things like the Stone Imp. The Stone Imp is a tough parry on fast speeds. Some of the Battle Knight stuff. The Cyber Demon has things like the Cyber Demon and the Agadon Hunter have like a good flow to them where you can learn their moveset, and it really feels like you've got a dance going on with those kind of fights. But they're also meant to be like a big one-on-one kind of demon, sort of thing. So I do agree as well that this is a game, and I've said it before, like during streams and stuff like that, that this is a game where you there might be a melee only run one day, but there will never be a gun only run in Dark Ages. You need to parry. You need to do it. You need to engage with the shield. You need to use the shield. If you don't like the shield, you won't like this game. And that was my assumption when I first saw the trailers. I'm like, oh, people that don't vibe with the shield are not going to vibe with this game. It's just nothing else is going to bring them back in, because it is just so integral to the experience. And I mean, I think that it would be cool to have some extra stuff to do with the parry besides just sending projectiles back and having some like melee charge benefits. I would have liked, we talked about touching on weapon swapping a little bit before. I would have liked like maybe a weapon swap speed buff when you parry stuff.
That'd be amazing. That'd be a phenomenal mechanic.
Not it doesn't necessarily need to be instant, but just like maybe 50% faster. Just being able to like parry something and then during that slowdown switch to another weapon, which would be sick for doing things like stacking shock charges onto a Cyber Demon or an Agadon Hunter, and then you parry him and he's ready for a counterattack, and you could drop. Then you have player agency. You're like, oh, I could go in for a melee combo with my Gauntlet Strike, or I could go for a Dread Mace bonk, and I feel safe to do that now. Or I switch to the Super Shotgun and give him a point blank wha-bam, with the boomstick during this parry window. So during that slowdown, you, the player, get to make a decision. That would be cool. I would like that. But unfortunately, if you switch guns during that slowdown, you will probably not have it out in time.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. Honestly, sound design is 50% of it for me. I care so much about sound design and it feeling satisfying and sounding awesome. And the pling plong, ding dong, cling clang of the shields and projectiles is so fucking good. I love it.
It does
agree.
It does feel very badass to nail a parry and then have the slow-mo follow up as it's firing back. Like, it does feel well. However, slow-mo's foreshadowing is a narrative device. Allu, what do you think of the parry system?
Well, I will say I don't like. I wish there was an option to turn the slow-mo off. I've heard rumors about
supposedly they're adding. Hugo himself said that they're adding.
They're also I should have mentioned that, but it is also saying, or Hugo said that they're gonna tighten up the minimum parry window as well.
I thought I read that as well.
Like a tighter setting as well. So
nice.
they want to make the window tighter. They want to buff. Like they're patching pretty fast too. Like the accelerator and the cycler just got more ammo. I really don't think the cycler needed more ammo, but the accelerator maybe.
Yes,
like
100%.
Yeah.
But
anyway, sorry, Ali.
No, you're good. I've been thinking, what if the parries were, and maybe some other projectiles didn't home in as much, at least on max speed. It's like they're kind of impossible to avoid sometimes. And what if there's more of a skill,
like whiplash,
where you have
the homing projectiles?
Yeah, like what if for, I guess specifically talking about parries, what if it was more of a challenge where you had to position yourself correctly to hit them?
Oh, like
more precise parry positioning instead of
yeah, and because they all come right to you, but what if it was more of a, you have to move yourself to the projectile?
Kind of like
there
what
are
the
a couple
Mancubus
demons
does.
that do that.
Yeah, where it's like
a little bit like that.
Where it's like you have to be on the left side of the projectile to get it.
The Armored Pinky leader bosses that fire out those shields will always have that green one at the end, and the Vagary, the spider guy, will always have like that pattern with his. Like that's a positioning thing. Like the grain doesn't chase you there.
Yeah. Now that
there's a few examples, but primarily, like especially the The Battle Knight, the imp projectile is a big one. Like the imp projectile is definitely chases you.
It goes in like you can't really do anything about it sometimes. But
Yeah, the end projectile is actually insane. I will like be running away and turn around and see it like bend around 3 corners to come get me, and I'm like, dude, Jesus, this thing is just it's out for blood, man. It wants me.
yeah, it's they're very punishing, and you kind of just have to run to cover. And that's kind of the intention of it, I think, is to force you to move.
Yeah,
But the parries itself, I mean, I really like the parry mechanic. I think it's fun. I do think it's I agree with what you guys all said about it. Like it's kind of lame that you kind of have to parry. Like there's no other way around it.
Yeah.
And it'd be kind of fun to do to just not have to parry and it be more of a reward, which is kind of what I was saying, like with the like move to parry it. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wish
I'm
there
not sure if
was,
it would work out.
Okay, I'm going to be the defender of the parry mechanic here. I think
Yeah.
parrying is super
for it.
generous and easy here. However, as of a lot of time,
I'm not hating on it. By the way, this is
yeah, I'm not either. I really like
No,
it.
I had
I love the
criticisms, but I
parry.
really enjoy it overall.
oh yeah, but
agree.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think there's enough positivity around it. So allow me to butt in.
Oh, okay, all right, go
fair,
on,
fair,
go
fair.
on.
We
then.
all need to
Go on
like
then.
things, or else it's bad, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, of course.
That is true.
I think so. With each enemy individually, I think they have a very easy parry pattern, and it is perfectly consistent. Like for example, Mancubi, specifically the armored ones, they'll always send out the parry attacks in the right order. First, the right side of the projectile, with a fast projectile will go first, and then the left side of the projectile that can be parryable, that will go last, and it'll always be a little bit slower. So that's like relatively easy. Okay, start moving right so you can parry the first projectile first, or start moving left to avoid that and get the second one. Like, seems relatively easy to counter. But as always, Doom does this thing where it's like, one enemy on its own is simple, but you're always dealing with like at least like 3, 4, 6, 7, sometimes 10 enemies at the same point. So it's like
that's partially why the window is as generous as it is too, is because there's so much else going on.
yeah, so it's like in the middle of a clusterfuck of a combat encounter. It's like you can always rely on them doing their patterns so that you can kind of quote unquote like see a veil into the chaos of how to counter it.
Mhm.
I much
it makes
like
sense.
that aspect, and I think it gets around the how do I put it? Parry being easy. Well, it's just like, oh well, if it's easy, just make the encounters more complicated to deal with it. And I feel like a lot of the encounters do that, but only like if you're maxing the difficulty sliders just a little bit too high. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that it really only the biggest factor for game difficulty on the sliders is game speed. Like in my opinion, I feel like the jump from 100 to 150 is like way crazier than like projectile speed or anything like that. And it's because it becomes infinitely harder to be situationally aware. So like yeah, if you're fighting something one-on-one, it's like, oh, it's like a little bit faster, not a big deal, right? But then having to maintain like control over the entire combat arena at the same time while everything is going faster, I think that makes it way harder because of that. And so like I have less grievances with the parry being like kind of easy now that I play almost exclusively at like 150.
yeah.
I agree.
Did you try 150 with projectile speed maxed out?
Yeah, that's how I did my. Well, I did my
It's-
first playthrough
it's-
at 130 with
It's
projectile speed. But...
stupid.
well, only certain projectiles go faster, right? I don't know which ones do though.
Alu, you and me, we're special because we both did a max sliders playthrough. So
Yeah.
which one do you think? Which slider do you think is the most effective on difficulty?
I think I mean, partially it's affected by game speed as well, obviously, but the projectile speed, it's got to be projectile speed. And this is like pretty much every other setting you can kind of adjust to. Like, oh, you deal half as much damage, well, you just shoot the enemies twice as much, and you internalize how much times you have to kill enemies. You adjust to that. Resource values, you have to manage your resources a bit better, but it's something that can be worked around. But the fast projectile speed, there's just it's almost to the point where you just can't react to certain projectiles, and I think that's what makes it ultimately the most impactful. But part of that is game speed, so it's not
Because they
know.
stack, right? So
Yes.
it's like
exactly. So it's not entirely
However,
just the projectile speed
certain attacks
setting.
and certain projectiles do have max speed though that aren't affected by that. Like for example, like Mancubi, like there's well, we're just talking about this example. Their second shot is always meant to be the slower one, and that will override like the 500%. There are some few
That
exceptions.
makes sense.
The one that I think is a sleeper for difficulty, maybe not as influential as game speed but projectile speed is days duration. If you bump that
annoying.
if you bump that down to 50%, you either have to be right on top of them to get the glory kill, or memorize the glory kill combo so far in advance that you can just instantly shield bash to them to get it.
Yeah, you have to shield bash a lot when you have.
Yeah, I don't think
that
I've played
base
on that
game.
one.
Also,
That makes sense though.
yeah, resource dropping being at its minimum is also a sleeper for very difficult. Because if you get to 1 health in a combat encounter, you are at 1 health for that entire combat encounter. You don't get any resources back.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes things like the flail not really something you can rely on.
Yeah, because that's affected by the resource drop too. So you're basically using fists or the dread mace just for damage purposes.
So 150 speed compounds like enemy aggression as well, right? Like the projectile speed
it's
and enemy
everything,
aggression
so-
is
Yeah,
also
speeds up the
The game
game.
runs
Yeah.
faster, effectively. So
Even
you
the
move
voices
faster,
are
enemies
faster.
move faster.
Even the voice lines are faster.
They
That's
patched
true.
that. First day patch addressed that. Thank goodness.
The
Did it?
version I'm
'Cause I
running on
still
does
have
not
that.
patch it.
Really?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't had it patched. It's still fast for me.
It's
Yeah, same.
regular for me when I finished my first playthrough, huh?
I've
What?
definitely
Sure.
had some. I've definitely
Racism
had some
against
voice lines
Australians.
still sped up.
I guess
Oh,
they're
no.
rolling the patches region locked or something. I don't know.
I always forget about Australia. Those fucks.
But yeah,
I didn't.
unless people want to talk more sliders, I was wondering what everyone thought of the constant slow-mo that is this game.
I hate it.
I think it's a negative overall, from what I gather.
I get it. I would like to try it without it because I have a feeling I would like it more if it wasn't there. But I get why it's there. It's to basically give you that half a second to think about what to do next.
Yep.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
But it is very like, especially when you're in like a really really big combat encounter and there's more enemies in the combat encounters than any other Doom in this game.
Just
so
constant
you're doing it a
slow-mo
lot
the whole time.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you're doing it a lot.
Yeah, I'd say it's very weird on the pacing because like I'm like aggressive full in, just want to keep tearing, and then it's just like parry, half a second of slow-mo. Okay. Oh, well, there's another parry because it's Dark Ages. Oh, another half a second. It feels like over the encounter, it's like how many seconds am I losing? This like split second cool factor thing, and I feel like it's just a bit too much. It also gets like a little screwy when I think these enemies have combos. Sometimes you have to parry multiple attacks in a row for select enemies. If you miss the first attack, you don't get the slow-mo. So the parry to when to pull up your shield for the second attack changes depending on if you parry the first one, which honestly can trip me up. It tripped me a bunch during the casual playthrough.
That's where I die the most, is when I like have an enemy attack me and I miss the first parry, and then I just miss the next like 3 because my internal timing is completely fucked because I'm
If
so
you miss-
used to just parrying a bunch in a row.
Yeah. No, if you miss the red statues at the beginning of Azrak Part 3, that really throws you off on 150% speed, as well as missing like the first of a Baron combo. Like
Mhm.
it's really hard to recover from that if you mess up.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I'm not a huge fan. I think that I get why it's in the game. It's like the same thing I feel about the what's it called, the parry window being like so generous. It's like it makes sense. It's a complicated, like really technical game that they're trying to make as accessible as possible to people that like maybe don't play this kind of game like a lot, you know. And if you don't have that slow-mo, then it's just going to be going way too fast for most people, even at like normal speed, just because parry timing in general is hard.
It's also a result of taking out glory kills, right? Well, I mean, the glory kills are still technically in there, but like
they're more situational, yeah.
Yeah, like, and imagine if this game had glory kills as well, how like pace breaking it would be.
Yeah, no, I can understand why they just completely dropped it, because like imagine if you have to stop to do an animation after nearly every enemy killed. Like, how many enemies are here? Oh boy, that's a lot.
I think I remember in
MMA Pro wants to talk about whiplashes, specifically whiplashes.
Their projectile
and fast speeds and
the projectile tracking is just way too good on their attacks, honestly. Like, I think that like 3 shield attack they send you with the third one's the parryable. It's like if you step to the side and you think like it's just gonna whiz past you, no, you're dead. It'll hit you instantly.
Yeah.
I find the like its 2-hit combo that it does is almost never get it right.
I was, but dude, that was like what, after 70 hours of playtime. Like,
Yeah. They also,
a
I didn't
while.
realize until like a couple days ago, like relatively embarrassingly, very recently, that they are kind of they're not invulnerable to guns, but you can't shield bash them and you can't like melee them when they're slithering around.
yeah, when they're
It's
slithering,
so
they
bad.
are immune from anything that has any tracking capability.
I really don't
Mm.
like the thing that happens with them too. Is you can throw a shield at them and it technically gets stuck to them, but they follow through with an animation first, and then they freeze.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's really
There's a
annoying.
couple enemies that can do that. I think Arachnotrons can
Mhm.
do it too sometimes. It's like
Yeah.
you're really reliant on using the shield to stun enemies so that you can actually kill them. But then sometimes
Oh.
it's just like nope, there's no stun here. They're just gonna hit you first and then stun. It's really weird. Honestly, I think it's a bug. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And speaking of a similar interaction from, I saw you encounter this earlier, the Kako demons being invincible but not showing it.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a big one. Makes dealing with
Is
every
that the
single
reason
Kako
why
demon
I
just
throw
a
my
little...
shield? I'm still learning the game. Is that the reason why I throw my shield at those fuckers and it doesn't get stuck in them?
Yes.
They're in like
Yes.
invulnerables. Motherfucker, because I'm like, is this meant to be? Is this happening? What is happening right
Yeah,
now?
their attack and vulnerability, you know how they get that like electric
my
shield on their
God.
face, is triggering early before you visually see it.
Right.
Yeah, I
okay.
wish that was lined up, or they had a different indicator if it was intended to be differently or something.
Yeah, it
you
just
know?
feels weird when every aspect you have in reality is telling you like, oh, this should work, and then like the the visualization's a little bugged, and then it's just like, oh, it doesn't work. It's like, but why, game? Why? I kind of want to move on a little bit just to respect, because I know Maynard's got to go in a touch, so I feel it'd be amiss if we didn't talk about what we expect out of this game, like from quote-unquote high-tier play. Like, for example, Waifu, you're doing any % restricted speedruns.
Yep.
I just, like, you're kind of the representative of that, because I haven't looked into it yet, nor Alu Maynard, maybe you guys have, but I just, like, what do you think of this run? And if you could compare it to, like, Doom Eternal for a little bit, because, everyone knows about Doom Eternal's speedruns, right?
Yeah. I like it. I've been like helping pioneer the restricted stuff, like helping with rules and routing and things. As soon as I saw like Whipple clips, I was like, yeah, that's obviously going to be unrestricted. And I like broken speedruns, but like, I don't know, Doom runs are a whole nother level of broken. I always say that like Doom Eternal or like Doom Dark Ages is like restricted run is about as broken as most games any %.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, agreed.
There's a lot of out of bounds stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm just I don't know. I thought that would be fun, and so I've been writing it. It's really cool. I like it a lot. The tech is hard. There's the shield. I call it shield flying. It works very similar to like sword flying in Halo 2. And so that is super super fun, but it's very limited. So you can't like do it all the time. I think the biggest downside to it is that, well, so like if people don't know, if you tap right click to aim the shield, on the way out of the shield, you can then like press to shield the shield dash, and it'll like cancel. So you can get a bunch of speed and then not actually hit the enemy and like keep the momentum.
Yeah, shield bash
but-
canceling.
Shield bash canceling. It works almost exclusively when you're at higher elevation to enemies though, and you don't have a double jump in this game, so it makes it like really really limited. So it's not really something that you're gonna do like in combat, like in Doom Eternal. You have like meat hook yeeting and stuff. Like that's something that you could just kind of do in the middle of combat. But this is like way more prescriptive. You like need to know ahead of time, like okay, I'm gonna do it off of this enemy when I get to this spot, and then I'm trying to go here. Because like you don't have air control and that kind of thing. But the run is actually shaping up to be really, really fun, I think. It's good pacing. It's fun to see like lots of new skips and stuff. Like the run is getting shorter and shorter. My biggest concern, my number one concern, was that the run was gonna be too long. Because the game is huge.
Yeah.
The game is ginormous.
100%. We just got our first runs done. Like, we don't even have official rules or anything, but it's clocking people in at over 5 hours at this point.
Yeah, and So for me, that's one of the main reasons I'm like, okay, well, the game is more fun at higher speeds, but also like I'm playing 150% speed because it cuts like an hour and a half off of a run that length. Like that's a huge
Wow.
amount of time.
Yeah,
So
I definitely agree. When I know I'm gonna pick up 100%, it's just a matter of when. But I have it in my
Yeah.
mind that like I'm running the game on 150% speed. I don't care. I've experienced this game at too fast a speed, and I like it too much to like touch it on another mode.
yeah, and it's just like, well, like who has the time? Like I'm a full-time content creator, you know, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna have time to run that. It's like 5 hours long. Like there's no way. And I think it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Right.
got the low difficulty under 2 hours like a couple days ago on a 150% speed, and I got a 223 on Nightmare today. And I think like easily it could go. I think that at 150% speed, you're looking at like an hour and a half for just any percent. Like when it gets really, really fast. But that's still a long run. For me, that's like at the top end of runs that I like for length. So I'm like, I don't know. It's really cool, and I like the pacing of it. Thank God the dragon sections are not so bad. Same with the next section. That's the biggest thing. I was like, these things are gonna drag, but they're really not as bad as I
Yeah,
thought.
thank God they are just literally go to X location, then play as Slayer for a little bit, then go hop back on, go to Y location, play as Slayer for a
Yeah,
little
real.
bit.
Thank
not
thank
too
God
bad.
for that, because otherwise it would be really really rough. But I don't know. I like it. I think it's gonna be really cool. Most people have just been doing unrestricted because it's like the hot new thing, right?
I
But
mean,
I
with
think
every
when people start doing
game.
restricted, it'd be
Oh,
cool.
hold on. I think for the people watching,
Um,
just good example of shield bash cancel tech just appeared on screen. I'll rewind it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a really cool tech. I'm really excited. When I was doing any percent, I actually was getting kind of bored because I felt like the combat was like really really samey. I was just like using the impaler all the time, and so I was really excited to bump it up to nightmare because I wanted to have to use other things, because I think like optimally or like mediumly optimally, you just like spam impaler, you know.
Yeah.
I think that when the game is actually optimized, there will be more things to do than that, right? But like when you're just doing runs, that's like the basic. And then the nightmare is just way more fun.
Yeah.
Having done some runs of that, just because you have to do other things, and so the combat itself gets less tedious. But the game's design just kind of leans into like really relying on one thing, and then you don't want to spend a million years getting upgrades, so then you don't upgrade things, and then you're stuck using that one thing.
Yeah, that's kind of where 100% will shine, where you have to upgrade everything anywho, so you're allowed to just more combo potential. Because I was just like doing the mental calculus on some of the abilities and what you can do in this game. Like you can start with Cyclorine an enemy in order to get electric stun on it, swap to the SSG for burst damage, kill them instantly, and then have that jump to the enemy, and then focus each enemy down that it gets for continuous shock jumps. Like I just imagine how many strats there will be like that for specific encounters. Seems like
I agree, and I think
potential
that'll
for
be fun.
creativity.
That'll be fun, but like we have to get there.
Yeah,
That was like my thing. It's like, okay, well, people have to play the game enough and optimize enough to where you have to do that, because otherwise you'll just like spam impaler and get record, right? Because there'd be no reason not to.
I have a quick question. Sorry to interrupt, Waifu.
Oh, go for it.
Did the 12 Council of 9, the small Council of Doom speedrun judges, did they decide that weapon masteries are a part of 100%?
I don't think it's been discussed yet. So
we're
far,
still debating it.
Yeah,
I kind of hope it isn't, because of it like not really doing anything other than giving you a skin that you've already unlocked.
Yeah,
well, a lot of people have unlocked it, I guess. But,
there's a
but
little
it is
bit
part of the other games, I guess, is the argument.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a rule discussion going on now for what exactly 100% entails, and yeah, no, that's just an aspect we aren't.
That's a point
like,
of contention,
okay.
for sure.
So it's still up in the air.
It's up in the air. I think we're leaning yes. Most people don't like that, so maybe no. At worst, we'll have two separate categories. You know, the least popular one on the category extensions or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're okay with splitting the categories?
We are.
So
it's
like
just
100% and 100%, 100%.
We kind of don't want to repeat of Eternal, where it's like we have a bunch of main board categories, but only 4 of them have any real runs. Like. So
because like you had natural masteries. Right?
Yeah, we had natural masteries, which has 4 runners total, compared to on the same.
I'm
like,
one of them, buddy.
You could.
I think that's a cool category.
You'd be in a losing fight, but you could, Alu.
I know.
But it's just like it's right. It's like on the same category as like Doom Eternal 100% UN, which don't get me wrong, doesn't have a lot of runners. Like we got like 30 maybe. But like in terms of viewership and like audience watching, it's like, yeah, that makes the lion's share of like what type of speedruns they watch of Doom Eternal.
Yeah, it's the most popular stuff. So for people who don't know, like where we're at with the leaderboard and stuff, from my understanding is that so like 2 days ago, the leaderboard went up, speedrun.com, and it just has any percent unrestricted, basically. But there are like subcategories for like 100% speed and altered game speed. So you can play at whatever game speed you want, basically. As like an additional category. And we're talking about a lot of it's like there are probably preferences. Like it seems like 100% runners will probably all play at 150% just because the run is so long, right?
I know. Like I'm that guy. That's me. You're describing.
Yeah, that'd be me as well. So like
Me
I'm
too.
here with you. And we are like currently in the discussions about like what a restricted rule set looks like. And we're basically just using the Doom Eternal rule set. It's like make a list of tricks that we don't like, that we don't want to be in the run, and then no out of bounds. And that's basically like what me and a couple of other runners that have been doing restricted runs have like already been doing. And we've just been hashing out the details of like what exactly that means. So I imagine, I'm not a mod, but I imagine we're like pretty close on dialing that in.
Oh,
And then once you
probably.
have that,
I wish I
yeah,
had Meta, my fellow mod buddy, in here. He could have told me about it.
and then after that, I think that the goal is after that, then discuss 100%.
Yeah.
Right. And
once we nail those rules down, we'll probably work on any other side categories that people want. Like we need to see if like all collectibles is a good run in this game, for example. Things like that.
Max sliders.
Max sliders. If we have a sadistic amount of people in the speedrun community, which odds are we're likely to. Maybe.
Also petition just to call it like Nightmare Max. I think that
Omega
sounds
Nightmare.
cool.
Super
Yeah,
mega ultra
sure.
big nightmare.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the run's cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. I just want to see more people running restricted. I think it's gonna be really, really cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
restricted
there's
is
some
a
really
sick
cool
run
levels.
so far. I'm just as watching it in the background as you talk about like there's a lot going on, and it's like we are not even at the point of where this is anywhere remotely optimized yet because we're still like 2 weeks in.
It's really exciting, like frontier time. You know, like there's like we haven't built the cities yet. It's all just wild country.
Yeah.
Yep.
It even feels like there's, and it's kind of like it's really exciting. Like talk about it every day. I just keep bringing it up how like there is a solid argument to be made for any of the weapons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that'll make routing really interesting because there's a lot
Yeah.
of like, oh, well, this is good, this is good, this is good, everything's good. So
Except
like
the grenade launcher, but everything else you can you can definitely argue.
Grenade launcher
the
is
grenade
very
launcher is good for
useful
skips.
if you're doing the BFC arena without the BFC.
Oh yes, it is actually. I can.
I watched Alu do that for a few hours.
Also,
it was like watching a lava lamp. It was entrancing. I couldn't look away.
Yeah, it was
just run after run.
It felt like a lava lamp. It felt like being inside of a lava lamp.
That sounds awful. Well, that gun at least has uses because it's like the only gun that gives a boost. So you use it for a ton of skips and restricted.
Yeah.
It's like the lifeblood of the stuff. Anytime you're doing a trick that isn't related to shield flying, it's the grenade launcher. So like, even if it's not good as a melee weapon or the actual weapon, like it's gonna be useful.
It's the closest thing to the ballista we have in these games.
Yeah, and actually, there's something I wanted to mention earlier, but I never got around to it. I really like. I never got around to running Nightmare restricted in Eternal, because there just felt like the skill ceiling was so high on a classic that I just never got around to it because I didn't put enough time in. But in Eternal, it felt like there was so much tech in the combat that made it like really engaging to play, even at a low difficulty. That it was like super fun. I didn't have to go up to make the combat not boring. I'm not entirely convinced that'll be the case in this game. Like I almost feel like on easier difficulties, it will just be boring, even at like the highest level, because it'll be more optimal just to spam like one gun.
Yeah, I mean, with Eternal, like if you were on the easier difficulties, you could focus on the movement because there was a big depth and like, you know, you could tell when somebody had good movement in Eternal versus like we're just starting out. In this game, I don't know if that exactly will be the case. I mean, we have stop hopping, but that's
well, I just mean in the combat itself, because like in Eternal, you still had like stuff like slobs or bats, and you could do some like really techy stuff to make the combat really, really fast, you know. And it's like I don't know if that's gonna happen in this game. Like,
I was wondering about the the pulverizer in particular with the speed boost it gives. If there could be any.
Oh,
usage
that
with
I feel like that has to be routed into you to pick up early in
Yeah,
like
especially
hundo
like
runs.
something
Yeah.
like Siege, where it has so much photo running around, you can keep the pulverizer buff for a long time.
Yeah.
Especially if you
Yeah.
got that like second ruby upgrade where melee also keeps it stacked. You could keep it up for not the whole level, but a lot of the level. Because there's fodder everywhere. They're just always running around. Like every time I'm standing, I'll stand still in Siege 1 to say hello to someone in chat and look over to a different monitor, and I'll get murked by some fucking
Yep.
some imp that's just running around, or a soldier that just shoots a laser dumbbell at me.
Yeah, it was just from an offshoot encounter that you just so happened to trigger like 5 minutes ago, and it's
Yeah,
finally
they're just
worked.
wandering around. Yep.
That's Siege.
Speaking of which, Maynard, how has it been in Pandemonium Land on that point as like an
It's
in-game
been-
difficulty?
It's I initially thought Pandemonium, like I'm like, why is this here? Like the loading the level over is silly, and I would rather just load from checkpoint like an extra life mode. But then I played it. I'm like, oh no, I kind of get it. It definitely is the middle ground between Ultra Nightmare and regular Nightmare or regular game mode. It gets you ready for Ultra Nightmare, I suppose. Like loading over from the beginning of the level is brutal for Siege and like those kind of maps. Like dying on the in the last 20% of the level feels like you might as well restart the whole game. But the biggest problem with Pandemonium is I'm sure you guys probably know about this bug, where sometimes you finish the level and then it just reloads the level. Like you click on the next level and it'll make you replay the previous level. I don't know if you know about
Wait,
that.
Oh man, really? I did not know
Really?
about that.
Huh? No,
Yeah,
I've never
I
heard
think
of
that's
it.
I've heard about that.
Yep, it happened to Devo. It happened to me, thankfully on Kaleem, so I didn't mind replaying that. But it happened to Devo on Siege 1, which is the worst level in the whole game
Oh
to
my
have that happen
God.
to you. So yeah, he had to replay Siege 1 from the start for no. It wasn't his fault either. He just like held space to go into the next level, and it loaded Siege 1, and he's like, oh wait, like he just realized, oh shit, this is the wrong level.
Oh,
So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. It might have something to do with the fact that like you can pick a mission from the mission list, and
Yep.
that replays the level and kind of starts you off at the beginning, but it reset the progress. Like it didn't keep the thing. Like normally, if you go back and you redo a mission, it keeps what you've collected, all the gold you've collected, and your weapon upgrades and weapons that you've collected. You keep all that, but it didn't.
Wow,
So it was
that's
just a straight
weird.
reset.
That's
Hmm.
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, it's a brutal bug. Happened to people in my chat as well. So it's happening to people that are running Pandemonium. So that definitely needs to be fixed. I like it. It makes me like I love the reason why I love Ultra Nightmare so much is that it makes me feel like alive until I'm dead. You know, like it feels like the heart rate's a little bit there. You got to concentrate a little bit more. You have to you got to really walk that tightrope between being as fast as possible while also being kind of safe. Like the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You kind of got to ride that line. I love that. Like and it's a good game mode. It's a good game mode.
How do you think
How do you feel about the fact that you can move everything around in Ultra Nightmare? The sliders, I mean. How do you feel about that?
Mm.
I feel like because I know there's a skin or something for beating Ultra Nightmare, right?
There is, yeah. I don't have it yet because I'm not ready for it. Because
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I'm
wish-
gonna do a 150 speed
I
Ultra
guess-
Nightmare. I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah, I have no problem, I guess, with people just like adjusting difficulties to have an Ultra Nightmare-esque experience on whatever difficulty they find fun for that. But it's like when people think Ultra Nightmare, they think of like the high difficulty, all that stuff. So I kind of wish that the collectible was gated beyond like not adjusting the settings, or rather only adjusting them harder, like from the base settings. But other than that, it's like, like.
Yeah, I don't really care.
It's just the naming thing for me. Like I don't really care either, but it's just a naming convention thing. Like Ultra Nightmare for me is always like the highest difficulty Iron Man. At least since 2016, that's what it's meant. And in this game, Ultra Nightmare, it isn't Nightmare. But I guess also Nightmare could not be Nightmare as well. I mean, like you could start a Nightmare playthrough for the Nightmare skin, which you do get when you win, and then just bring everything down to minimum.
Yeah.
If you want.
It kind of loses the prestige that a lot of people really like
about it.
grinded
Yeah.
for, and like
I would have liked them to just put in Iron Man or something like that. Like just call it Iron Man Iron Man game mode hurt me plenty, or Iron Man game mode, or I guess it's Aspiring Slayer now. Or no, that's Too Young to Die. Sorry, hurt me plenty, and then Ultra Violence.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's just incorrect. Like, I feel like when you lower, there almost should be like a ratio of sliders. I feel like where you should if you're like the name should automatically change, right? Depending on what sliders you have. Like if you turn your sliders down to a certain setting, then it like literally just changes the difficulty that you're playing on. Right? It's
Yeah.
like it's no
It'd be
longer
nice to have
nightmare.
a
It's
like I don't really care about my dick size isn't tied into what I can do in a video game. So like I don't really care
Yeah.
in the end, and I want more people to have more things to do in the game.
Yeah,
But
I
it
agree.
would be nice, as someone that likes to do the hard, challenging stuff in Dooms. It would be nice to have a specific reward, to have like a badge of honor to say I've done this thing, just to be like it's in your trophy cabinet kind of thing.
It's like
even though you can just mod in every skin, you can just mod the skins in, but still, it'd be
like-
nice to get it naturally.
Yeah, it was a little bit of like a prestige too, because like in Doom Eternal, like there was a multiplayer, so you could load into battle mode with the golden skin as like a little bit of a psychological ploy to the demons, being like, "Yeah, I beat Ultra Nightmare. What the
Battle
frick
mode
you gonna
flex,
do,
yeah.
dude?" Like,
Yeah. It's like showing up into a Quake Champions match with the tournament skin on. They're like, "Oh shit, this guy's played an open bracket."
All right. Well, I guess how does Pandemonium compare to like the Ultra Nightmare experience? Because I know you said it was kind of like the mid ground point, but like it's the mid ground in like what way?
In that when you die, so the life sigils are really important, and they're very finite in this game. I really, just as a small aside, like what they did with the extra lives in this game. Being able to stack like 20 lives in Eternal and just never die and play like an Unga Bunga is a little bit too generous. But the fact that you can have a maximum of 3, I thought was really cool. And also trying to, remember that there's life sigils around the map and recollecting them and trying to keep that stack up to keep your run alive as long as possible is also kind of an extra thing to worry about in Pandemonium. But what? So you know that like when you die in Pandemonium, you restart the level not from checkpoints. So if you're in the middle of a battle, right, you don't just pop back up again. You have to restart the whole level. All your progress is reset in that level.
sounds fun, honestly.
I mean,
Unless you have to do the whole level again because you
But yeah,
went to the menu too fast.
like Ultra Nightmare, if you die in the first 2 or 3 levels, who cares? But in Dark Ages, imagine dying at like the Prince Arscrack, the Prince Arscrack boss fight or something like that.
Game is so big. Like
Yeah,
God,
that's
that'd
like
be
okay,
devastating.
I need to cancel appointments and call whoever I was meeting for lunch and tell them I can't make it because I'm going to be here for the next 4 hours to get back here.
That's brutal.
I guess the point of we just talked about the prestige for the challenge is like Ultra Nightmare is kind of brutal, so it's like anytime like there's a little bit of a like, oh, you can't do it because you have a life and obligations and a family, but but at the same time it's like, well, yeah, that's part of what does make it is because so few people can do it. It's like what I'm thinking, like the endless playlist in like Rock Band 2, if very obscure reference, but it's what I think of.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess
guess
modes in games, right? Anyway. go on.
Yeah, I have some critiques of it. In general, I've never completed Ultra Nightmare on any of the games, and it's mostly because I'm just terrified of all the countless bugs.
Yes.
That is like the
Yep.
number one thing. Is like if you're gonna have a permadeath
True.
mode in your game, you cannot be having the game crash 3 times a playthrough. Like every
Which
single run,
happened a
I
lot
crashed
with
3
Eternal
times.
as well.
Yeah, it happened a lot with the Eternal as well. And also for some, like it happens in 2016 to some people too.
I had a lot of crashing, but I think that was something that I fixed recently, thankfully. But I had a lot of crashes in 2016.
Sometimes it is like it's your hardware or whatever, right? But like I don't know. In this game, I crash at least 3 times a run.
Yeah.
It is actually insane. And I have not dared to try Ultra Nightmare yet. I have heard that you do not get checkpoints. And so if you crash, you have to start the whole mission again.
Yeah.
Every single time. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's we talked about that in the
that has to be
moderation of
fixed.
for 100% runs, because imagine 100% UN run, like a speedrunner who's 4 hours in, about to get to the final battle, and then the game crashes and they have to redo all of Harbor of Souls or something like that. Like,
Yeah, and imagine that happens on like one of the longer levels, like Resurrection or something. It's like, dude, that's like a 15-minute level.
yeah,
Like this.
like the run's uncontinuable, and there's no good way to save the run, like period, after that if on a crash, which just kind of sucks.
Which I just think is just bad game design. Just straight up. Like they know they're
There
published
should
by
be checkpoints.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're published by Bethesda. Like your game is going to crash. Like there should be checkpoints on Ultra Nightmare.
I always described id games as like, I always know that they're going to be a little bit of a buggy mess, but I'll always have fun playing them. And unfortunately, like if you need to put the like, oh, well now you need to do the super difficult challenge run, or they'll repeat the level if you restart. Like, you gotta make sure your game's stable enough for that. Like,
Yeah, and I frankly don't think any of the modern Doom games are. It's like,
I very weirdly have had a. I'm not going to say it's flawless. I had one no clip bug in like Cosmic Realm, but my and also one time my shield didn't come up and I had to shield throw to bring the shield back up, so I couldn't block.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've had no crashes and very few bugs. I don't know
That's
why. Like maybe I've got the Cinderella hardware, like the Goldilocks just right hardware setup or something. But I literally have never had a crash in Dark Ages. It's so
Mine's been decent
and
too.
it's so interesting to hear so many people having crashes all the time.
yeah, I got
Yeah,
unlucky.
that's unfortunate.
That game crashes a bunch for me.
I was way worse off with Eternal. I mean, Eternal's BFG crashes. I know
Yeah,
they got
I
that
definitely
fixed,
had
but
those. Definitely had
that
those.
was really bad back in the day.
well, that wasn't even hardware based. They're like literally like they know like if you
Yeah.
have blood fueled
Mhm.
and you shoot the BFG, you crash. If you have
Yep.
like if you're in Manku and you shoot the BFG, you crash. Like I don't know, but for me it seems like just randomly, especially on the dragon section. God, the dragon sections, man. I feel like it's got to be some combination of like playing at 150 speed and going really fast in the dragon sections. I feel like the
So
game
are
just
we-
crashes like all the time.
Are we all in agreement that we would have rathered a 18 mission Slayer campaign than a 22 mission Slayer Dragon Rock'em Sock'em Robot campaign?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
I actually, I think some of the mech sections levels, like, don't get me wrong, not as good as the Slayer levels, but at the same time,
They
I
don't
don't think
overstay
they're
their welcome. They're fast.
yeah, they're
They're
like,
fast.
if you want to, you can speedrun those missions in like 2 minutes. Like, they're
Yeah.
Mhm.
well, you can't
And
say
I
the
must
same about the
admit-
dragon sections, but
I
Yeah,
must
that's the worst
admit,
part of the dragons. Is they just overstay
like-
their welcome.
the robot segment, like I was a robot segment hater, but that bit where they give me the giant like 30-story fucking shotgun and you're just left clicking on those big Titan things and
Yeah.
they're getting turned into mist. I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this a little bit.
I-
It's
I-
pretty
That's
fun.
the most fun one for sure.
I
Yeah.
do like the third one where they give you those big shoulder guns. It's like a upgrade to your mech. And then you
Oh,
pick up
yeah.
the minigun, and it genuinely feels like you've been nerfed because you can't use those big shoulder-mounted guns.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
the
actually.
final the final battle, right? The
Yeah.
great one. Yeah, that one.
Mhm.
Yep.
I also
Uh,
like I don't know. I just see like a bunch of like potentially run/game ending bugs if playing on Ultra Nightmare. Like you guys had it where you get a boss to 0 HP and then they don't die and then they're invincible and you just can't
I've
kill
seen
them.
someone have that. I haven't encountered it, but I've heard.
I've had
I've
it
seen
haven't- I
multiple
haven't had that.
times.
I haven't
I've
had
had it on Azrek. I've also had it on old one. Where like you hit them all the way to 0 and their stun meter won't fill anymore and you just hit them and hit them and hit them and hit them and they just won't die. Like they're just invincible.
Wow, that is
That's crazy.
that. So yeah, I like this is the kind of stuff that makes me nervous about running Ultra Nightmare because I'm like, if that happens to me, I'm going to be livid, and I'm very hard to like. I'm extremely patient, but but I'm 100% guy, so my run's going to be like it's not
Yeah,
gonna
you're
take
gonna
me
be
an hour or
5
two to get
hours
to.
in.
Yeah, I'll be 5
Right.
4 or 5 hours. Hopefully at that point it's 4 hours.
Yeah, right. Hopefully.
Yeah. Hopefully at that point it's sub 5. But yeah, like setting aside a whole stream to get that far and feeling nervous and you got the knees shaking, palm sweaty, mum spaghetti, and then you just can't kill the boss and it's not your fault. Stuff that gets taken away from you that's not your fault feels bad. If I die because I'm dumb or I'm
Yeah.
not paying attention, I'm never usually upset about those. But if I lose because of something outside of my control, I'm just like,
It's like when
Yeah,
you
bad
have
feeling.
like tech
It's
issues on your
spicy.
stream or something. It's
Yeah.
like this is not even related to what I'm doing, right?
Yeah,
It's like
I've had the steam keep dropping, and I just feel so terrible. I'm just like, oh god, I just work.
It's
Just
tilting.
work.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very tilting.
Yeah,
And it's
My
like I don't know.
opinion-
My philosophy is like if you're designing the game, this is like a thing that you want to have in the game. Like you're like planning it from the beginning. You're gonna have a permadeath mode. It's like you just have to have like I don't know. You just have to test it more. You have to like
Mm.
bug fix it more because
Yeah,
like people are
I
gonna
mean,
play that. It's like I
yeah.
don't know, man.
I agree. It's like at a state where if like when I do pick up the 100% run in however many days that be, like I plan on just doing Nightmare, like no UN period, just because yeah, I don't want to have to repeat a level. Like
Yeah. So you just put UN in your title, and if you die, just reset.
yeah, no,
You know,
that
it's
unironically
like-
that's the better option.
Because it's like, why waste your time if the game can just do that to you? And it's like, well, hopefully they'll patch those things, right? And that'd be great. But for the speedrunning community and stuff, it's like, well, we're not going to play
It's just
But,
like
on the new
we're
patch.
we're beholden on
it.
that patch. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like for speedrunning is a very special niche because without that checkpoint thing, like even with that checkpoint thing, a death is like extremely bad time wise. Like you've lost,
Yeah.
I don't know, however long it takes to reboot the game, you've lost that time. So speedrunning niche, it's really bad. But even just as a casual player, not having checkpoint for Ultra Nightmare is a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting too
That
because
definitely needs to be
like
fixed.
because they don't want you checkpoint cheesing because there's the the glory in getting Ultra Nightmare, but they also kind of remove the glory of getting Ultra Nightmare with the difficulty.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
if,
no,
if it's a
I
decision
see.
to avoid checkpoint cheesing, then don't let people move sliders in Ultra Nightmare because that's
Yeah.
way more cheesy.
Yeah, it feels like
100%.
something's conflicting design there. I see your point. Yeah.
I will
Uh,
say, if you're really wanting to do Ultra Nightmare, do a max sliders run first. It will be a joke. I did it on my first try on Ultra Nightmare on base settings after doing max sliders.
Yeah. Maynard, I want to be cognizant of your time because I know you have a
Oh,
obligation.
you're right,
do you
man.
do you have to leave?
I'm good
or
for a little
anything?
bit.
Good for a little bit.
I have to. I've got a hard out in like 25 minutes.
Okay. Well, anytime you feel
So
like
I
you
have
need
a
to
bit
go,
more
feel
time.
free to just stop and wish us all bye or
I'm okay.
whatever.
I'm
but-
having fun with you guys. I'm having fun. We're shooting the shit.
He's trying to get you out of here,
We're all good,
Maynard.
we're all good.
I'm
He's like,
It's like,
look, man,
get out of my voice call.
you're in Australia, but we can smell you from here. Okay, if you would just.
Wow. Okay. Didn't realize my basement
No, I'm a
room
very clean guy.
reeks
Even
that
though
way.
I've got no, look, even though I've got dreadlocks, I'm a very clean guy. I promise. One day we'll meet in person, and you'll be pleasantly surprised by how good I smell.
Mhm.
I promise. I promise.
Alu, I feel like
Hello.
we can kind of double up here, but we both did max sliders, whatever that entails. Do you want to tell the people what exactly that challenge run is?
It's on Nightmare, and every difficulty option slider that makes the game harder is set to the maximum. That's
So,
pretty much it.
in other
So you
words,
turned auto aim on, right?
yeah, that's the hard.
Yeah.
You can't shoot barrels then.
It's
Makes the
not
game
every
harder.
slider turned to max. It's all the hard sliders turned to max.
So did you min out days? Did you minimize days time and all and resources and that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah,
Yep.
everything. And yeah, the assisted aim and whatever that other setting is definitely not enabled.
Yeah. So the guy in my chat said torture percent. Yeah, it sounds like the
Yeah,
right one.
that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
CBT percent.
it took Alu like 45 to 50 hours to beat that mode, with checkpoint reloads and all that stuff. It took me 50 hours as well. It's honestly CBT simulator at some point. Some encounters are really tough.
But my second run was only 14 hours compared to the 45 or 50. So that's how much you kind of improve by the end of the run.
Yeah, doing this so my default run, as a reminder, 150 speed, min parry window, and that was a good enough challenge when I introduced into the game. But once I did max sliders, it's like how to put it, challenge was cranked so hard that it's either you get good or die. And
Yeah.
I feel like from that I've understand so many more intricate things about the game system over that 50-hour-ish playthrough.
No, it's really cool because you have to lock in and focus on every encounter.
Yeah.
Like there's you kind of can't get away with just repeating the same thing or just kind of winging it. Like you gotta sometimes critically think about what are your primary targets, where are the fodder, kill the fodder immediately. All the fodder must die before engaging the big guy. Yeah, it's really interesting and it's grown on me a ton.
I'd like to ask you guys a question then, for the two of you that did that run. What was the hardest combat encounter in the game?
For me, it was definitely the gore nest on the last level, just because I was doing the double baron challenge.
I would put it at the last level as well, but I didn't do that challenge because I was just going for the clear. But the first combat encounter in Resurrection,
that one's hard.
In what's it called? The last level, Reckoning.
I always forget the name of it. Yeah.
The first encounter of that one is really hard, mainly just because it's a group leader cyber demon. Then it's a Komodo with a Kako as the final phase. And Komodos with their little random fireball attack. When you die in 2 to 3 hits, that attack is the most scary thing in the frickin' game. Easily, because there's no good way of predicting it.
if you're not using the BFC, the Komodo is like by far the hardest thing in the run. So any encounter with the Komodo is just the hardest.
Really?
I had the hardest time with the last arena on the last level as opposed to the first one, personally. Not the Berserk run through section, but
The
Oh,
final
before.
battlefield up to the ship, yeah.
the one with the Vagary champion and the Baron on the last wave.
In my opinion,
That wave.
Vagary, hardest enemy in the game.
Really?
It's not even
Hmm.
close.
Really?
Yeah. For me,
Really?
it's not even. Every other enemy is like a cakewalk compared to Vagary.
That's
You
interesting.
I don't
are the
know
parry
why.
king.
What
You are
about
the parry king. That's why.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm like, because
Devil May Cry?
I
coming
feel like
clutch?
the goop just gets me every time, and I like
Pretty
can't
bad.
figure out how to get into a parry fight with it. You know, like if you get it to shoot at you, right, then it's not so bad. But
So my vagary and the way I deal with the vagary, I'm under no illusions that I'm a better gamer than you. By the way, this isn't like trying to teach you anything.
do it.
I know
Do
that
it,
I know
please.
you were bred
Faster.
in a lab. Like you're not even biological. You're not even real. You were bred in a lab to complete video games at ultimate speeds. But I found that with the vagary, I found them really easy. With basically like shooting at them a bunch with a cycler that applies shock, and then just strafing around them sort of mid distance. So I'm not really getting gooped, but using the pulverizer. And because they're so wide, the pulverizer, every projectile of the
use the
pulverizer is basically
pulverizer.
hitting them. Yeah. It just it DPSs the fuck out of them, and on like 150 speed and everything, I really do not
Happens
get
really
gooped.
fast.
I only worry about the projectiles. It's the only thing I'm afraid of getting hit by, or the slash, like when they swipe at you.
that
Change
just probably
that
the
as
number one thing
well.
I died to is the goop. But from
Really?
Mancubus and
Yeah.
from
I did die to
Vagary.
goop a lot. Yeah, actually,
They're pretty bad.
my quick entry for hardest battle is I haven't heard it mentioned yet. But my hardest fight was actually the first arena in Belly of the Beast. With
Really?
That one is really
that one
tough.
is one
It's
of the
brutal.
hardest.
Yeah.
It is
that
definitely one of the
I
hardest.
definitely died on the most in my first playthrough. I was there for an hour maybe. I think Retro even came into chat and he was not there yet because he was doing a harder run. And he was like,
remember.
"Oh, when I get here, that's exactly right."
I
yeah.
rated.
So-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely
That's
one
right.
of my top 3 hardest ones for sure is that encounter. That one's really rough.
Yeah. The Cybermank in the corner with the Revenant. That's like Revenants are so scary in this game. It's weird for them to not be a meme anymore. The Revenant, they're actually like a thing that you
They
have to worry
are,
about.
dude. It's like a
Yeah.
number one priority. I often I'll find myself like fighting the like the morale demon or whatever, and then I die,
Mhm.
and it's always the revenant, right? It's like just because the bullets are so fast.
Oh, and the tracking
Yeah.
weapon's insane too.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. I also had a really cool situation. I mean, it was bad for me, but it was cool where I went to melee one and it just went into ghost form and then it came back just to like not get hit.
Yeah. No.
And I'm like, if that's intended, that's
I've had that
fucking
with the
sick.
shield.
It
I've had that with the
so
shield
it is
saw return.
programmed to get out of ghost form and melee you once you get in range. So I think you were just out of range for a split second. It did its ghost attack as you meleeed, and then it's like, oh, he's so close. Quit ghost form, hit him.
I'm pretty sure they can ghost form BFC.
Yeah.
I think I've had it happen. Yeah, like
Oh
it
my
just doesn't
God.
hit them.
I love that.
That's mean.
The game needs a dickhead, because and I think the Cacodemon and
There's
the
no
Revenant are probably
Archvile.
top tier for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
like
God.
an Archvile, but also in Eternal they have the Carcass, the support demon. The one
Yeah,
that's
true.
the one that you hate the most, not because they're difficult, because they
They
get in
spawn
your
a
way.
fucking wall. Just
Yeah, don't remind me about that asshole, man. I got
Yeah, but
beef with
he's
that
an
dude.
asshole. He's an asshole, and you hate him, but it's also like you love to hate him, like a bad guy in a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those
Yeah,
things
no,
where
Got
it's
a
like
lovable look.
mechanically I like what he does for the game, but at the same time, like, fuck you, dude. Like,
Yeah, but also fuck
Yeah.
you. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. We're talking about the Carcass. Yeah, sorry, guy in the chat. Go on.
yeah, I was gonna say, Alu, I don't know if trying to talk more about max slider mode a little bit. You said okay, so you've done the thing where you've done BFC without like. I've done no BFC. You're now doing it with
Yes.
BFC, trying to work towards like UN and stuff, right? How different
that's the
is it
goal.
to use the BFC? I'm curious.
Oh, it's night and day because you can just kind of take out most of the Komodo. I'm still figuring out a combo to like, I don't know what combo you need to one shot or like quick combo a Komodo because one BFC still doesn't kill even a regular Komodo, but it definitely helps. and I still have some more routing to do. But just the Komodo is like the one answer on max sliders where it's just like I don't know what to do because the fireballs are just
Is that what
can't.
gets you, the fireballs? Because you can't
Yeah.
just block them.
It's impossible to dodge. It does like AoE damage, and like one of them will break your shield, and then the other will like kill you.
Yeah, if you aren't full HP and have shield block, like when mid range with a Komodo, like you're basically asking to be killed.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
on
If
max
it, didn't have the
sliders,
gun, if it
it's-
didn't have the gun, it would be so much easier for sure. Like, oh, it's like shoulder cannon, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's parrying his actual melee attacks is fine. It's literally just the fireball cannon.
In fact, you kind of want him doing his melee attacks because he can't fire the fireball cannon while he's doing another attack.
Yeah.
exactly.
But doesn't the Komodo and the Agadon Hunter, they're like one of my favorite things to do is when they're staggered, just get in there with like the mighty boot, the combo, like hit them with the gauntlet combo, the 1, 2, 3. But the Komodo and the Agadon Hunter have this thing where the thing you parry will knock you like the fuck out. Like you'll be smacked up in the air or like smacked back away from them, so you're kind of out of range from that. You got a shield bash to get back in. That the Komodo does that, right?
Yeah.
Trying to remember.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I found this little tech. I don't know if you tried it. By the way, I am saying I'm a better gamer than you.
No, I'm not going to get
But
an
the,
argument. I'm the least gamery.
But I
He
always
smells
found
the best.
I don't know
Missed out
because I
with
haven't
earlier.
tried it on
But
this
I
enemy
smell
because
better than you guys for sure, 100%. Even though I have dreads. But
I
go on.
yeah, I never tried it on Komodos because like I was playing max sliders like my last time playing, and if you do that to a Komodo, you just die, like full stop. But if you shield bash in to like close the distance in melee, I find that like you can squeeze in a lot of your melee combos on those high knockbacks, like Tyrants, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But
Have
Okay,
you
so
messed
that's
with
the
like holding the shoot button while spamming melee? It comes out like way
No.
faster.
really?
Oh.
Yeah, and you can duplicate melee charges. like that.
Wait, you can
I
like
can
do
shoot
that.
cancel the melee to get.
Yeah, you just hold down the shoot button while spamming melee, and sometimes the first one will like come out. multiple
That's
times
why
as
you get
fast.
the extra melee then.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I
You just hold the shoot button.
I thought it
That's why you
was
do
like
it.
some execution thing where like the demon was technically like in an execution state, so it just played like the melee animation
I
over it or
think
something.
that can happen as well, but it usually happens like right at the start if you're holding down the shoot button while you do it.
Okay, very niche thing, but have y'all noticed like the melee buffer system in this game and how like if you try to do any other action while trying to melee, it just will prioritize melee over everything?
Yes.
There is a stored input problem for sure as well. Like the whole like don't mash in this game. Even when I feel like I'm not mashing, I swear like there'll be multiple inputs that I'm like, oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Feels a little
so
weird.
there's this very weird one. I only figured this out like the last time I played, where if you spam melee, it will buffer that input during the melee animation. Like, for example, the Dread Mace, if you have 2 charges. Like, if you hit melee even once during the first animation, it will for sure always do the second animation. But if you block your shield, that interrupts it. But, like, only for half a second. So you can get in a quick parry or block for, like, that half a second, and then it will immediately force you into a melee.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think
know.
this game does have like a dedicated like animation priority sort of issue where I think how to put it. The intuitive answer just isn't the one they chose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of, I have a similar kind of question.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about if the shield would always prioritize over whatever you were doing? Like to
Like,
parry.
does it do that currently, or do you
Like,
feel
no,
like, or
it's-
you feel like you
how
want
would-
to interrupt?
How would you like the game if it had that?
Oh, if it was shield priority over everything else instead of melee.
If it would
Like a
interrupt,
universal cancel, like for
Yeah,
everything,
like-
you could shield.
yeah, like you could like if you're like mid weapon fire or something, or you're mid melee animation, you could just bring your shield up no matter what you're doing. To
So,
parry or
the
block.
other game, like my main game that I speedrun, Devil May Cry 3, that's how the parry system works in that game,
Yeah,
and it is fucking busted. And like,
yeah.
if
It
this
would be
game
strong,
had
for
that,
sure.
the entire game would be that, because
You
you would
mean, like,
cancel like every animation.
Yeah, so animation canceling is what we're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, like so, like anytime you're in the middle of any animation, if you just press the shield button, it cancels the animation you're in and brings up the shield.
Yeah.
If that was the case, then they would have to make the parry window like 20 times smaller.
Yeah,
I
they
wouldn't
will,
mind
because
it if I wouldn't mind it if when you swap weapons, because you know, obviously you're vulnerable when you're swapping weapons. I wouldn't mind it if bringing out the shield cancelled. Like it didn't make the weapon come out faster, but it made you switching weapons not happen.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
nice.
am okay with that, to be honest.
I wish
Yeah.
that after a successful parry, you could quick swap. Like, that's
Yes,
I-
I still want that.
I like that idea too.
I like both those. I think I'm a fan of being able to use the shield while parrying, because, like, I mean, we're already making it up that Slayer can hold 8 guns in his back pocket and pull them out like nothing. Like,
Yeah,
what?
and he's got a lever
Why
action
can't he
double
do that
barrel.
one-handed? What's preventing him from doing that one-handed? Like, let me parry.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. If he can do all that with one hand and always have the shield out, why can't he always have the shield out while switching weapons? Well, he gets his hand back there just to pull out gun.
Why can't he
gun
parry,
11.
parry during it?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird because it's obviously intentional to like stop you from switching
Yeah.
weapons, which I think is to make it so that like people don't have the complaint that like they did with Eternal, where it's like, oh man, like you just spam weapon swap all the time. You have to be like constantly swapping weapons. And but I just think they like went too far the other way. Like I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
they really like punish you. It's like, oh, you want to switch weapons? You want to do something else? Like, no, you're gonna die. And it feels like if you're playing really safe, the optimal strategy is to just not switch weapons.
Yeah, outside of
Like,
speed
you just-
tech, like, yeah, you can't do that. Like, you can immediately like quickly swap after a shield bash, because for some reason that triggers like a bats like effect from Doom Eternal, if anyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no bad.
other
yeah.
Same with the shield throw. Like if you throw your shield, then the next swap is like really fast, like during the shield throw. But
yeah, I kind of, because it feels like they're trying to go for like swapping weapons is something you only do when there's a down moment in combat. But
Yeah.
that moment is not long enough to like, okay, you just killed an enemy. Maybe you want to change the weapon when going on to the next one. It's still just like a bit slow for that.
yeah,
Yeah. It feels
just
like you're
feels a
actually
bit
punished.
awkward.
You're punished sometimes for swapping weapons.
Yes.
Which is,
Yeah.
I think, too far.
yeah, I agree. I think it is too far because it's like, okay, well then I'm just not gonna switch weapons. And then I was actually getting bored.
Yeah.
Like on my second playthrough, I'm like, dude, I'm just using the Impaler. It's like I had to start switching weapons to find the fun because I'm like, look, I know it's not optimal. I know I'm gonna get hurt more. I know I'm gonna die more. But like, it's just fun. Like it's
Yeah.
more fun to play that way. And so like I just decided to do it. And I think once you're good at it, it's probably more optimal to switch weapons, right? Like you just gotta like know when to do it and why, right? But like
Yeah, when you can, yeah.
yeah, but when you don't know that, when you're like playing the game for the first couple of times, it's like it's just gonna feel bad. Like you're just getting punished.
This is just one of those games where it's like there is a weapon that is just optimal for facing this kind of enemy. Like, for example, like if you're single targeting, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't just use the Impaler and chain throw shield to get empowered shots. Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, because I'll be like, I don't know, super shotgun, or I have cycler or something, and then all of a sudden I'm right next to a cyber demon, and I just have to like, instead of attacking, I gotta wait for an opening and then swap weapons to the one I want. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
that's
because you're
a
not gonna fight
weird-
the cyber demon with the super shotgun, right? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
so you're
I mean, you
like
can
now
do
just gotta
it,
wait.
but especially on max sliders, that's gonna take like, I don't know, 30 seconds of extra parrying if you're using the
Yeah.
wrong weapon.
yeah, I actually kind of like the committal nature of weapon swapping in like some weird, like, might be slightly masochistic sense of punishment of where it's just like I do like how switching weapons isn't free and you have to think about it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, with how much you have to think about, like during just a typical encounter, it's like I'd be fine with like one less of those. Like,
Yeah. I just think it stifles experimentation. It's like
little, yeah.
you're gonna have. I'm thinking like sure at the highest level player, like it's gonna be more fun and probably more optimal to switch weapons for like specific things. But I found that like okay, the only time I could justify switching weapons on Nightmare is if I know what the enemy spawns are gonna be and I have a plan for which weapon I'm gonna use on which spawns and I know when the downtime's gonna be. But like if you're just playing the game normally, like you're just like casual, right? Like even if you're doing like your 6th, 7th playthrough, you're probably not gonna do that.
yeah,
And so you're really gonna get punished for it.
because I remember a big criticism of Eternal in 2016 is like how you didn't have to swap weapons. Like even in Eternal, like if you had max ammo, like your chainsaw pip recharged way too quickly to where you could just infinitely fire the same weapon if you built around that.
That my first ever playthrough of Doom Eternal, I remember it. I thought more DACA, more good, so I just had like mobile turret, and I never did anything other than mobile turret. And I would
Nice.
I would just chainsaw stuff and just
Yeah,
Just the whole
like,
playthrough on Nightmare.
and like people criticize like id Software for being like, you didn't design your games in a way to where like I could just sit here spamming Super Shotgun the whole time and get through the game, because you could do that in literally all their games. So it's seems kind of weird that they leaned into the criticism more than like trying to address it.
Yeah, it feels more like they listened too much to the people that were complaining about like having to switch weapons too much in Eternal. They're just like, fine, just use one weapon. But it's like, that's not that fun for many playthroughs. Like, it's fun for like a couple playthroughs, but I feel like this game is not gonna have the same staying power casually as something like Eternal, because it's like you just don't have that many playstyles.
So
Right,
when you yeah, but the downside of doing something like that is if you like you take the stuff that I guess adds to the skill ceiling away.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a lot more better as an entry game, and people are going to play it and have like a really wonderful 1 or 2 playthroughs. But then people like us who do 20, 30,000 playthroughs,
Yeah.
like we're like just really wishing that we had that extra thing just to give you that extra little bit of stimulus, like the ones that stick around and play that game for thousands of hours.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I think that's a common design
yeah.
principle that's like followed through in this game, and you can see it in the mech and dragon sections. It's like,
yeah, you can
this
tell
is
that
like a
those-
spectacle one-time showcase game, and like
Yeah,
if there is anything that you can get out of it at a high level, it's like incidental or like a secondary thought to.
It's
Yeah.
it's very important to have those casuals. Very, very important.
Very- very specific
important.
reference, but it reminds me a lot of the Ghost Runner 2 motorcycle sections of being
Oh,
spectacle,
I totally agree.
and then just not much
Yeah.
else. Like, what's the point of this after the first playthrough? The answer is, not really. It's just kind of there for that.
Well, the point of it is that 70% of people that buy a game never open it, and
Yeah.
30% of those people don't finish the game. So it's like,
It's
you know,
literally
good on the
just for them,
trailer.
yeah.
Looks
yeah.
good on the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So remember the fast traveling from Doom Eternal. I was talking about this a little bit with chat, and it was just interesting as a discussion. But like how in Doom Eternal, I remember, for instance, like Arc Complex and like Super Gore Nest, for instance, you unlock the end of the level, and then you just fast travel to everything you need to complete the level. And in Arc Complex, like in 100%, you don't go up the turrets. You don't do that. Like you do that bridge skip to get to the Marauder fight, and then you just use fast travel to get around. I actually think that while I miss fast travel in terms of being able to collect stuff, I think that fast travel would kind of wreck the open levels in Dark Ages a bit. Like it'd be great for speedrunning, but you know, the ability to just fast travel around, like rush to the end of the level and then unlock fast travel and then just go, okay, I'm going to this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner, and you just skip like everything on the way. Kind of breaks those longer levels, but at the same time, it does feel like you spend. And this is part of the reason why I'm frustrated about the mech segments and the Dragman segments. Is like I know that the dragon and the mech stuff is there for a pace breaker, but I feel like there's already so much pace breaking because you've got these giant levels and you walking around or running around from one side of the map to the other to complete stuff, unless you're routing.
Hot take: I don't like pace breakers. If I want that's a break, I'll just
I
pause
kind
the
of
game.
agree with you because I've got I've got spicy brain and I want constant simulation. I'm kind of
yeah, exactly same. But like if I'm like, man, I'm like a little bit. I've never been playing Doom Eternal and been like, man, I wish there was a mech section now because I'm too overstimulated. But even if I was like that, I would just pause the game. I'll just go do something else.
I want nonstop. Like when I play Doom Eternal, I feel the same. I want nonstop combat. I don't want it to end. That's why I liked Proteus Horde mode so much. Like it's just the only downtime is when you select your weapon and then you go.
Yeah, I feel like I'd much rather have a very catered experience that does like exactly what I'm looking for, and then it not try to overstep what it's doing. And I feel like Dark Ages kind of does overstep it. It's like trying to be more than it is, or like more than I would like it to be. I guess it is more, right? But like, I don't know. I think that a casual audience likes that and wants it to be more, right? Wants to be more of like a totality of an experience. But I always thought that was something that was really good about like id Software and Doom games, especially, is like it just knows what it is and it doesn't try to be anything else. But I don't think that that's the case for this game.
I definitely agree. However, I think there's ways that pace breakers can be done well. Like for example,
I agree.
Like Ghost Runner, I just gave it a crap example, but I think they do like in between pace breakers between encounters very well because it's literally just parkour to the next area.
Yeah, the wall running and the parkour. Yeah.
You can take that as slow as you want. You can be that, but if you are a like an Adderalled up like person, you can just like do some 15 like million step complicated like parkour.
I think the difference there is it's like you're using the core mechanics.
Yeah,
to do something different than
like the wall running
to do
and everything
like,
is part of combat.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think
And Doom Eternal even does that with the platforming sections.
Yeah, I
right?
think-
It's like you're using the combat mechanics.
Yeah, the
Sorry,
aspect
go
I
ahead.
wanted to say that made that like a good pace breaker in my sense, because it's not asking you to take it at a slow pace, it's asking you to take it at your own pace.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's where you do it, where it's like, yeah, for people who need the pace break, you can just stop and slowly go through this puzzle. But for people who want a little bit more, they can just like get through it quicker. Like,
Yeah, that definitely helps. But I think really, honestly, the big thing is this is just not a gimmick.
Yeah.
Right. It's like you're using the core mechanics of the game to do something different, and that can be enjoyable, and that is informative into how you play the base mechanics too.
yeah.
It's like people complained about, but yeah.
I was just gonna say, shout outs to Kaiser, developer at id, who is in my chat / been there for my streams. He's the person who actually designed a lot of the enemy AI and a lot of the dragon stuff too.
Nice.
He was talking about in the other stream, like for example, when we're talking about gimmicks like the dragon sections, that there was supposedly a bit more to the enemies rather than that lock-on mechanic. And this game feels like, yeah, no, it feels for some sections that they're just gimmickized because they were meant to be fully fleshed out. But then
That
just
makes
like
sense.
in post-production or production, it was like realized, oh, it's too expensive to implement these features. We gotta
That's fair enough. Yeah,
change it.
That makes
You
sense.
can't put everything in everything. But like when I first saw the dragon segments in my mind, I imagined Panzer Dragoon. You guys remember playing Panzer Dragoon, or you played it, or know of it, right?
I was
Like
thi-
I know of it.
I was
Sega
thinking
Saturn
of
never heard of that, no.
Spyro, but yeah, no, I haven't heard
Well,
of Panzer.
yeah,
That
but it's
is a
just kind of
dragon.
you're a dragon rider, and there's like it's kind of like a rail shooter, but you have the ability to move around, and you can look in like 4 different directions. But there's a lot of like finding the enemies and locking onto them, and sort of like it feels awesome taking out like waves of enemies with like this kind of lock-on drag thing. And it would be cool to have something like that, like the dragon segments, just having a few more enemies flying around, you know, instead of just having those hell barges that you blow up for gold and those ships those turret segments that are stationary. I just kind of imagined that there would be more like, you know, like you kind of have them in that, you know, before you go to the cosmic realm, like the cacodemons, those cosmic cacodemons. You kind of have them, but like more of that, but like squads of them, so you can take out like fodder with like a big lock on of missiles and doing like a burst. Like you also like a single target. It feels cool to like have your primary fire, but then like hold right click and then have a alt fire that locks on and do like a big burst of missiles into it or something like that.
Yeah,
Like it just feels like
cool.
more weapons would have been more engaging for the dragon bits, and that's what I imagined. And I was a bit disappointed that it didn't have more something other than just a minigun turret on the dragon.
Yeah, from what Kaiser said in my stream, you know those big Kako, like, you know, fleet, like, battleship-esque enemies? Apparently, early in development, they were supposed to teleport around, so you had to fly to them and could shoot them on the way, and then when you get close, you use the lock-on as, like, a, you know, after the chase sort of thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I keep saying this, but where's Dragon Card? You want Dragon Card.
You want a racing game with the dragon?
I want a multiplayer racing minigame.
Dude, just play Diddy Kong Racing. Like, what are you doing?
What
dude?
if Doom the Dark Ages had multiplayer and it was just Dragon Battle?
They got rid of
That would
be
the Rock'em Sock'em robots. It's just PvP robots.
Oh man,
PvP robots.
I'd play that.
I'd play it. Fuck yeah.
Okay, one final thing I want to kind of ask, since, you know, we're running low on time, is where do you think, like, challenge running and speed running and, like, I guess just general high-level play will be compared to, like, where 2016 and Eternal was at? Like,
It's
how do you
so
think it
hard to
does and
predict.
will do in comparison?
I have a bad feeling that the game won't have the staying power of those other games, but I hope I'm wrong. I really want like a lot of people to run this game because I'm super passionate about it, and I'm really motivated to learn 100% and figure things out. And I think it's just too early to say with confidence how it's going to do versus the others. I still think we're in frontier land. So I can't really
but
say.
if you had to guess, gun to head,
if I had to guess, gun to head, okay.
Yeah.
I would say that it probably won't have the same staying power because of how like it feels like you have a lot of choices at the moment, but I think I can foresee in like a couple hundred hours feeling like the battles are going to go the same way, and it's going to not be fast enough for most people. Like unless you're on 150% the whole time, I don't think it's gonna be fast enough for most people to feel like they're getting that stimulation like you would in Eternal, to like go through those combat encounters and do them in a certain routed way. So I don't know. I feel like it might not have the staying power, but I hope I'm wrong.
We'll hold you to that later, by the way. Alu, what do
We'll
you
be
think?
court.
I think from my perspective, for chasing the hardest things, I think there's good. I mean, there's a lot to do. I mean, we're still looking at max slider stuff on Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare, but
Yeah,
imagine
it's still so early.
Yeah, imagine a 0% max slider Ultra Nightmare. Like
That like with like
All
that.
yours, buddy. All
You know
yours.
what? I think I'm good. I'll let someone else do that. I think I won't.
like as far as pushing things hard in this game, I think there's a extraordinarily high limit compared to the other games. But as far as variety, yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It can be the hardest of all the Dooms if you want it to.
Exactly.
Yes.
hmm
A little bit
It's just because of it's mainly the length of the game and the quote unquote brace breakers we were just talking about that make it a rough replay, which, when you're speedrunning, you're replaying a game a fuckload. So, and challenge running. But anyway.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to say, like, in regards to challenge runs, like, I did, like, Doom Eternal no-hit in, like, split segment sort of ways, where it's just, like, you get to retry at every checkpoint sort of thing. 2016, like, I beat, like, Maynard's there with me of 2016 Eternal, UN back-to-back. And other challenge runs like that, and the hardest challenge run I've ever done was maxing sliders on Doom the Dark Ages, like, in terms of time spent, like, on just getting a single attempt. So, I don't know if you can do that with default settings. It seems weird to me that this won't be, like, the most challenge-inducing Doom, possibly. Like, if you want to find, like, some omega difficult, super specific niche mode to test yourself against, you could totally do that in this game. Probably way more than in Eternal or 2016. But
it's really just game length, though, right? Like, it's just so
it's a super long run.
Yeah.
Like, I do think that this will have, like, its niche as, like, a super long, super difficult 100% run. I can see a lot of staying power out of that, actually.
It's definitely going to stay in my like rotation of games because of that. Like, I actually really I like endurance stuff. Like, that's why the God Run, like, modern Doom speedrunning marathon kind of thing happened, is because I like marathons. I like not only the challenge of the game, but also, like, your exhaustion being a factor, like trying to do it all in one stream.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
It's the difference between, like, watching a 100-meter sprint or a marathon. Like, they're both interesting for different reasons. Like,
right, yeah. Like, you're not going to break the world record, but you're going to, like, do something pretty fucking cool.
Unless you break the world record of the marathon, in that case.
Well, unless not, which I think I did at one point, but not anymore.
Waifu, what do you think speedrunning challenge runs are going to look for this game?
I don't see. So maybe I'm just, like, on the copium truck because I think, like, this is what I'm doing, but I don't see any reason that people would be speedrunning this game long term on anything other than 150% speed, because the game is so long, and I feel like the length of the game by itself is enough to justify that. But also, I think that it's got, like, I don't know, maybe this will prove to not be true in the future because we'll discover, like, weapon tech and stuff, and that'll make it different. But I feel it's got the most prescriptive gameplay where it's like you're going to be hard locked on stuff where it's like, okay, like, you do this combat this way, and, like, that's just how it's done, and it's, like, kind of simple in compared to something like Doom Eternal or whatnot, in the way that you do the combat in that section. And so I don't see, I don't know, the game is so long, and the game speed, it's just kind of easy,
Yeah.
Like, I die sometimes when I'm, like, I do run a lot of 80% restricted and Doom Eternal, right? The easiest difficulty, and, like, I'll die even on the easiest difficulty. But, like, I don't think that would really even be possible in this game. Like, I don't know how that would even happen, because like, it's so much easier when it's easier.
Because, like, the base. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna agree. You probably have a better point.
No, just like because comparing like an Ultra Nightmare speedrun and Eternal to Ultra Nightmare in this game, like, the base difficulty is just so different for the speedrun. I think it's a bit less of a challenge or an achievement to do a UN 100% in this game versus Eternal.
Yeah, I definitely think for any longer category, 150% is gonna be like the normal because the game's long.
Yeah,
Even
and then I
with
think
the
that
game
beyond
speed.
that, like, yeah, go ahead. Sorry,
Mhm.
go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying. Like even with the
Yeah.
game speed, I don't know. It's still not maybe.
Yeah, it's just it feels like the combat is just like simple enough to master, if that makes sense. Like in a way that like you can do it like the set way, the same time every time, and like it'll just
Yeah,
work kind of deal.
I don't know if we're like in like a niche Goldilocks zone though, of like where
Maybe.
because all the weapons definitely have their own niches and like all uses where I think they're balanced enough to where new combat strategies that are effective for encounters can be discovered at any point. I hate bringing up Ghost Runner again. Actually, I don't. That was a lie. I love that game. But in Ghost Runner, they have combat encounters, and because everything's one hit, one kill, you can do the combat encounter super quick in nearly every order because every enemy dies in like one hit. So that would lead to many times in the speed run, there would be so many room clears that have completely different routes, and they're like all within half a second of each other. I don't know if that's the case we're gonna get.
That makes it really, really interesting because you use the movement to do the combat in Ghost Runner. But like the movement in this game is really basic. Yeah. And I think that's like the big problem really when it comes to like long-term like speedrunning staying power for this game is that the movement is just really basic. Like you just sprint everywhere and like stop hop and stuff.
Yeah, I guess
but that might change.
I guess what I'm saying is I think different weapons will have their own clear conditions for encounters that are about the same as like other weapons or weapon orders. I can foresee that being a big factor in the speedrun / routing.
Yeah, I can see that too. I just think that like when it comes to long term for like speedrun stuff, it's like that movement and like going from point A to point B, like that being fun is going to be a huge thing. And it's really entirely going to depend on how good people get at shield flying. I feel like because it can be used to do some crazy tricks, you know, and get some crazy movement, but it's really hard. Like it's a lot harder than
I don't think it's the coldest take ever, at least in this call maybe, that Doom Eternal probably won't be topped in terms of the speedrun department because that game has like the most depthful movement I've ever seen, and also like one of the deepest combat systems I've seen too. On top of that, this game seems like it only has that on the combat front.
They'd have to find some pretty insane tech.
Yeah.
We would have to find something.
Which, to be fair,
but even then,
we didn't understand lure chopping till like 4 or 5 months into the game, even. So, like, we can still maybe find something.
I mean, also means that we could still find ways to make it pay to win. It's not too late.
If it's a Doom game that's gonna be pay to win, it's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Maynard, I think you're low on time, if I recall correctly. Oh, muted. Might be talking to chat.
It's a bit chatty cat.
Sorry, I was so good about that. I was doing such a good job, and I just fucked it up. I was afraid I was going to do that. I'm so sorry, but I do have to go. Yes, you guys can keep talking. But I have to go.
I was just gonna say, do you want to shout anything out, plug your channel or whatever, before we wish you goodbye?
Yeah, I'm Maynard. If you want to see someone bash their head up against a wall to see what 100% in this game looks like, I will be that guy. I will show you the 100% run. It might not be pretty, but it'll happen. I've just started multi-streaming on YouTube as well, so I'd love for people to not only follow my Twitch if they don't already, but also give my YouTube channel some love. It's a baby channel. It's not retro or waifu big, but it's getting there. You know, we hit 4 digits earlier in the year and just got partnered over there. So
nice.
It's gone good.
Congrats.
Nice.
So thank you, boys. Thank you, boys. So if anyone wants to watch any of my stuff and support me for free, that's a way to do it over on the YouTube. And I do a lot of Doom. I do a lot of other stuff. I'm a big Souls aficionado. I love action games. That's why I'm a big fan of Waifu as well. I like Devil May Cry. So I've been watching him for a long time. And Alu and Retro are Doom juices, which is why I have infinite respect for them as well. So I'll tell everyone on my side when I get off the call to follow you guys. And if anyone doesn't follow you guys, I'll ask them to unfollow me. I think that's fair.
Yeah, just hold them hostage.
Yep, I think that's fair. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a really good chat. You've also made me learn some stuff that I didn't consider as well.
Me too.
I'm more afraid of Ultra Nightmare now because of the non-checkpoints that I didn't know existed until this. Until this call.
You're welcome.
Well, I apologize.
You've been warned.
We scared another person off UN.
We did. Yep, one less UN runner. Much love, boys.
Catch you later, dude.
You too.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I guess We're firmly in conclusion, unless anybody wants anything last notes on Dark Ages they want to say.
I just want to talk a little bit more about the longevity of like the challenge runs and the speed runs and stuff. I just think that the game's really, really cool. And I think that the longevity of it is entirely going to depend on like how much people can squeeze enjoyment out of little movement stuff in the game, because the game is so long and there's so many sections where you're just like walking and stuff. And so if like people could find ways to like make that fast, to make it enjoyable, to like really add like things to do basically during all down parts of the game, that makes it way more fun. Like I when I was doing it like easy difficulty runs, I never went out of my way to collect anything or do like mission challenges or anything, because it's like I don't need them, right? But then I jumped up to Nightmare, and it's way more fun because like on every mission I'm doing a challenge. Like Siege 2, I'm like getting the ruby from doing the 10 hits on the chain ball, you know, and then like, oh, okay, I need to like kill this enemy while I'm going here and do this and that, just because it like makes things faster overall, and that makes the overall run way more fun. Because if you don't do that, there's a lot of sections where you could just have like major downtime. And that's not even counting like the mech and dragon and stuff.
It lowers the. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I actually experienced the same effect when I played Doom Eternal. I tried learning any percent no major glitches back when we called it that for Break the Record Live, because I only ran 100% to that time. It's like, okay, hey, there's a big tournament coming or challenge or something. I'm gonna try learning this mode. And then I did literally one run and I got to it. It's like, dude, the easy difficulty makes it feel like I'm not being challenged whatsoever. I kind of hate this. Like, and so I stopped and went back to Nightmare routing. Like,
yeah, I had that same exact experience with this game. I didn't have that going into Eternal, and I think the reason for that is I started learning Eternal in like 2020. So like when I learned 80% restricted, it was already hyper technical, right? Like because like you only need to do that at low difficulty if you need to do it to beat other people, right? Like just to beat the game, you don't have to be like doing slobs and like doing crazy wall dashes and whatever, right? You could just like improve over time, just playing pretty basically. And so you're not really pushed to do that until there are other people pushing it. And I kind of felt that way in this game. I was like, man, like I bet you there is like cool weapon tech and like things that we could route and extra movement and stuff, but like no one is playing this. So if I want to be pushed to actually be having fun, I gotta jump up to Nightmare.
Yeah, no, I completely get that, because before BTRL, like any percent restricted NMG or whatever wasn't like that well ran. It was kind of like a new and brimming category.
Yeah.
And so it's just like we didn't really do much combat optimization. Meanwhile, 100% was all about that.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and like Eternal, there's just so much like everything, like every moment there's something you can be doing better to like there's always things, whereas it's not like walking to the next point where it's just you take the best line, you know.
Yeah, and that's where the movement tech like being good helps a ton. And
Exactly,
the more and more we've been playing, the more and more like shield flies and stuff get added in. And it's really, really hard to see. It's just have to wait and see, right? It's just like when are people gonna add those things in? And someone in my chat, Strabo, said something that I think is true. I think this is gonna be like a really cool speed game. I think it'd be great. But I don't think in 2040 people will be speedrunning this game. But I do think that people will be speedrunning Doom Eternal in 2040.
Yeah.
Right, like
yes, agreed.
It's just everything you could ask for, really, for like speedrunners.
Oh,
yeah.
One thing that's a little bit on the challenge run front more than the speedrunning front that actually might be a big factor for this game's longevity is modded content of Doom Eternal. Was with how it was programmed and mapped out or everything, like all you had to do was modify a text document to make special spawns and encounters and whatnot. But in this game, moddings from every modder I've heard is just infinitely worse than Eternal. I think that has to do with like the new map system they used. You know how basically every individual map location that you see on the map is like loaded in at once and it like transfers between that. I don't know the technical details, but because of that, like there'll be less like custom modded content, which means less custom hard levels. So people who are trying to achieve that little bit of an edge, who want to play something new, just like won't be satisfied.
Yeah, and I think that the movement is doesn't have as much skill expression, and so like that'll also be a huge factor of that. It's like you can only do so much. I think that'll also really limit when you do modded content what you can do with it, because it's like in Eternal you have all these movement options. You can get out of there fast. You can move around really fast. You can get like away from danger. And in this game it's like you parry. right? Like, and so you can only have so many enemies in a combat encounter attacking you because you can only parry so many things at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially with the slow-mo on, it's like
So, and a lot of those things, like especially on like the content front, like I was able to mod every enemy to like be a marauder in that case and make a fun little challenge run out of that. But without any modding capabilities in this game, like, will you be able to do like an all Komodo run? Maybe like,
Oh no.
it's just like we don't have the capabilities, and it's not looking good on their front. But we're kind of missing out on the potential that would generate.
maybe.
Could we
I
make, like-
actually was thinking about how well, complaining, right, about how the guns, like you could just use one gun the whole game,
Yeah.
right? Just like I was actually planning on doing a UN clear with every gun, with just that gun.
That's
Like-
actually a
That'd be fun.
goated content. I like that a lot.
Like UN impaler only, like the whole time. UN rocket launcher only the whole time.
Are you gonna do
I did
every
one
weapon
similar on
variations?
Eternal.
Maybe not every variation,
Mm.
but I was thinking about it.
I did the
Just-
same
just-
thing with Eternal on Tag 1. I just did it on. I can't remember. I think I did it on UN. I can't remember, but just every weapon.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, it was fun.
But then it's like once you run out of that, it's like I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
mean, you have the sliders, which makes for infinite modularity, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think that
True.
they'll really manifest in anything that interesting.
Yeah, because spoiler, I plan on doing a no gun only challenge run sort of thing.
Hell yeah.
And I'm trying to think like what else could I do for a challenge run after that, and it's like I don't know how much would be fun. I guess like no shield run could be cool, maybe, but
That was
like
my that was one of my original things I thought about, but I just don't think you can get away with like not parrying certain things like Azrak. How do you deal
you'd
with
have
Azrak without
you'd
a
almost
shield?
have to be like try it on Nightmare for the lulz and just be like, no, this has to be Aspiring Slayer or else it's like undoable.
Yeah, or undoable that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like
Like,
there's
it'd
be
a
fun to
lot of
mess around
attacks.
with.
There's a lot of attacks that you're forced to parry or else they'll hit you. Like you just can't.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
just like I don't know how you'd like counter his rock just by moving.
Yeah.
Just, like you get hit, like you'd just be taking infinite damage, dude.
Yeah.
True.
There's. We'll have to see. The game's really young, so
Yeah.
you never know.
I'm excited
be
for the
some
initial
interesting
little
things.
like challenge run little spurt, but I don't know how it'll be after that. I think that's my main concern. I mean, at worst case scenario, it's like I like doing multi-game runs. I could just tack
Yeah,
this onto
add
a Doom
another
run
one.
easily, like
Yeah.
so.
That'll be interesting to
but-
see. I'm just like concerned about the. It's in a weird spot where 100% is like always the most popular category, but it's also really fucking long. And so it's like, I don't know. You look at Eternal, and the vast majority of people that are like running actively like want to do hundo,
Mhm.
you know, and it's like
Yeah.
that run is 3 hours long on your first run. This run is like 6 hours long on your first run.
And after optimizations, it'll probably be like an optimal run. It'll probably be like 3.5 or 4 hours. Like,
And that's still so
Yeah.
long. It's
It's
like,
such a
dude.
long. That's such a long
Mm.
run.
Well-
So I don't know. That's why I'm hoping that people don't get scared off by stuff and like want to play like 150% speed and that kind of thing and give those things a try or any percent. Like I know that people are really partial to 100% in Doom runs, but like the any percent restricted run is sick.
yeah,
actually.
like I know
Yeah.
for specifically like absolute massive Doom Eternal 100% UN world record holder all time Giga Chad of a speedrunner. Like won't do 100% because it's too long. So they're learning the Nightmare NMG route. Like,
That'll be
It's-
interesting to see how that
yeah.
changes the dynamic a little bit.
Because the game is like almost twice as long as Eternal. Just amount of levels is twice as long, but some of those levels are pretty short.
yeah, like I'm just curious. Like, do you guys remember how long Eternal took you about casually, and how that compares to this game casually? Because I remember Eternal took me about 16 hours on the first playthrough. This took me 20. So like about by that
I
logic,
can't
like
remember.
25% longer. About
I think my
I think it
first
took me, like,
Nightmare
25.
runs when the game like came out, like my first Nightmare runs were probably like 4 hours.
oh, I didn't mean like speedruns. I was talking like casual.
No,
playthroughs.
It's your literal
I know what you mean.
Huh.
I just can't remember my actual.
Oh, I get you.
My length.
The
You're
right
giving
game
us
is
the next
definitely
best thing. I
longer.
get it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how long my Eternal run was, but I can tell you that my first playthrough of this on Nightmare was like 25 hours. But I played like up sliders and nightmare and stuff, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do think that it's like playing a completely different game
Mm.
when you up the sliders and stuff.
Oh yeah,
It
it
is.
feels
It'll
like
be interesting to see that transition for people.
yeah,
It's
'cause
insane.
I will
how
say
different it
just
is.
like that little change to the pacing, like because at 100% Dark Ages feels like completely its own thing of forethought and thinking things out. You turn it up to 150, it feels like Doom Eternal 2, like
Yeah.
which is kind of cool
I
that the
agree.
sliders allow for that much variety, but at the same point, I think it's like I guess okay, very small thing, but what do you guys think of watching the game at 150% speed versus regular speed?
They're
Um,
both all right to me. I think the biggest thing that impacts watchability is the slow-mo, for
Mm.
sure.
yeah, I agree. I can't wait for them to like remove slow-mo, but they have the Ravager debuffed, and like now we have like these two weird unoptimal versions to compete with each
Yeah.
other. It
It's-
always happens. It's gonna be great.
I know they say they don't target speedrun tech, or at least they don't do anymore. But it's kind of
Mhm.
weird when they patch casual tech that just so by happenstance affects the speedrun. Like they didn't like how bosses were being cheesed with Ravager, so now the speedrun has to develop a new strat. But that was like a
Yeah.
casual problem too.
Also, did they
yeah.
patch the invuln glitch yet?
I have
I don't
no
even know.
idea.
Because that
I
seems
don't
like a
know.
major one. If they cared about UN.
Well, the thing is, it's like I
prior.
don't understand why they care about game balance when they allow you to fuck with the game balance in the menu.
Yeah, it
It's
seems
like if the Ravager
True.
is going to be completely broken, but you could just play UN with all the easiest settings on 50% speed, then like why bother patching the Ravager? Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of because like I guess that kind of opens up an interesting thing of like balance within the game playthrough itself, no matter the sliders. Like for example, how the Impaler versus the Cycler works, versus like different playthroughs with different settings. I guess it kind of feels like that the Pulverizer is the cheap option, and they don't want it to be the cheap option.
mhm.
But at the same
Yeah,
time, like I don't know,
know.
our any percent runs rely on that to kill Creed quickly. Like,
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It feels weird. I personally don't like the slider system from a game design perspective. I like it from like a playing, like getting to fuck with it yourself. But like I think it inherently leads to an unoptimized experience. Like
I-
if you're counting on the player being able to adjust things individually, it's like I don't trust that you will balance the game around the sliders being default,
Yeah,
because I don't feel like it is.
it's one of those things where it's like you can't trust it to be balanced, but if it's like this fun side mode where you unlock sliders after the first playthrough or something, it's like, oh, okay, well then these were just something thrown in after the fact, and the other gameplay experiences were
Yeah.
more defined. But I
agree.
do think that this game troubles with like what slider creep, if we want to call it that, where it's like they kind of over accounted for it.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. If it felt like it was like this add-on on the side, where it's like, okay, you play the intended experience, and then it's like if you want to fuck with things and you can, then that's cool, right? But it almost feels like they're like, hey, we think we balanced it well, but we're not sure, so like here you go. Like do whatever you want. Do what you think is fun.
I kind of think like that they're inherently changing things kind of implies that, yeah, no, the previous state was not good in their eyes. Like, that they needed to make adjustments for some reason or another.
Yeah, I get that. But then it's like, why have the sliders? I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a little
Yeah.
conflicting. I kind of understand the confusion there. It's a little bit of an odd choice to be this focused on balanced when they're like, oh hey, it's a sandbox, adjust it how you like. Like,
Yeah, it's just strange to like even have balanced patches for a single player campaign game.
I guess I could understand if like a part is so difficult that people are leaving the game and like, you know, not picking it up again. So it's like, ooh, they need to boost numbers.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think these adjustments are made for that though.
No, it just feels
No,
like
it's getting harder.
Yeah.
like they just weren't quite balanced, and they wanted to see what we thought, and then
Yeah.
address it more. It just felt a bit like they didn't push the balance testing maybe as far as it needed to be before release.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like I'm sure there's tons of things that are unbalanced in the other games, you know. So
Oh,
it's like it
for
just
sure.
happens. They just happen to give us the ability to balance it ourselves. So it's
Mhm.
like we think more about it because we have the ability to balance it ourselves, you know?
Like it doesn't matter as much because players can adjust it.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So then it makes it seem a little bit more strange when they do change things. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's like such a
That's
small
fair.
pet peeve though, because it's like it doesn't affect the
Yeah.
vast majority
Yeah.
of players, right? It's just like
Yeah, the sliders, like in their introduction and like their establishment, is like at most it's confusing towards me, but it's like not instantly like a big negative. It's just yeah, it's just like okay, a little bit weird, but it's fine. I'll roll with it. I like the system enough, anywho.
mhm.
Yeah, but anything else you guys want to talk about? Because I'm grasping at straws.
Yeah, I think I pretty much out of stuff to say, honestly.
Yeah. I think
Well,
that's pretty much.
I would
covered
like to
it.
add that I think the game is fantastic. It's growing on me the more I play it. I think the speedrun's
Oh,
really
absolutely.
cool.
oh yeah,
I can't wait for people to. But the score has gone up at least a whole point, maybe a point and a half since I've played it multiple times, which I think is a good
yes.
sign.
I'm in the same camp where it's like after my challenge run playthrough, I felt like that the bosses, especially at the ends, were like just kind of copy paste of like previous phases and whatnot. But forcing to
Yeah.
learn like everything on max sliders is just like no. That final boss fight with Azrak, in which like Azrak has different moves, different tails, different fades. It's just I killed him instantly because of just the organic difficulty settings I played on the first time. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's like bumping up the sliders and pushing this game for its challenge. Like for people looking for a challenge, I highly recommend it. It's entirely different, and I've like improved like immensely at this game. It's actually
Mm.
insane how much better I am after doing max
And
sliders.
it's one of those games where like all my favorite games are like this. The better you are at the game, the more fun the game is.
Yeah.
My only concern is that you will hit the ceiling at some point, like, and then it'll not. Like, I feel like the ceiling is lower than something like Eternal,
yeah, for as
and
much
so
as
I fear that.
On max sliders, I don't know.
Maybe
On
not. I've not played
different
Max
sliders.
Sliders, so I don't know.
Yeah. For the
For-
speed run though, I could see that for sure. Absolutely.
as much as we say this game pales in comparison to Eternal, just because, like, well, it does, I will say that this is probably the game that's easiest to get into challenge running from, just because it does let you, like, adjust those sliders. So, you know,
I
the
agree.
casual
Yeah, you
person at
can-
home, like,
Mhm.
if they want to amp up their game, well, all they have to do is move something up. And I think that's very cool as an introductory element. It's just, after you maxed out game speed
Absolutely.
in every slider and completed a run, it's like, will there be much for you after that? It's like, I actually don't know. Like, unless you like
Yeah,
those
but-
weird, obscure, like, no gun runs or something, like maybe not.
Yeah, I would like to say that I think it. I am glad that it didn't do Eternal 2.
Yes.
I'm glad that they did something unique and
100%.
new, and they're like, look, this is a different thing, and it does its own thing, and it has its own flavor, right? And it's like, I think they did it really well. Whether you like the flavor or not, that's going to be completely up to you. But I'm just glad that they didn't just do Doom Eternal
Yeah.
or Doom 2016 again.
Actually, I don't know if you guys agree
100%.
with this, but I've been saying this. I think, like, out of, like, the Doom trilogy that was released, like, in terms of 2010s, 2020s, that's, like, probably the best, like, trilogy of games in that time period.
In what time period?
Oh, in, like, 2010s, 2020s, like, Doom is probably the best trilogy we've seen in, like, the AAA
Yeah.
gaming space.
That's it. Yeah, for sure.
Probably. I can't think of ones that come to mind right now.
Yeah, like...
I can't think of any others, so that really narrows it down. But like,
Because every game
Doom
has
is
like
really
a crap
good.
game in it, but I think no, all three of these Doom games are done well in their own certain way. Like they're not like the worst this game gets is like just good. Like
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It's like the worst the game gets is like okay, it's like pretty good. It
Yeah.
never becomes bad.
yeah,
There's like never a moment where I was like, I rolled at some dragon sections on my first playthrough and stuff, but like even on replays, it's like it's never bad. It's always just like pretty good, you know.
I would say this is a Dark Souls trilogy, you know.
okay, but even that
But-
has Dark Souls 2. Like
I know, but Dark Souls 2, okay, I don't
Here we go.
it's not my
Here
favorite
we
game.
go.
It's not my least favorite.
hey, I say this as a big meme because I think Dark Souls 2 is like it's a fine game. It's like a 6 out of 10. Like, but like I think like Doom at
It
worst
doesn't
gets
compare
like
to 1 and
gets like
3.
to a 7 or 8. Like pretty
Yeah,
high in the quality department.
No, I like overall I think it's like Dark Souls 2 is definitely a blot on that trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But yeah, thank you guys for having this talk with me. It was super fun. Really
Yeah,
appreciate
a
it.
lot
If
of fun. Thanks for having
you
me.
guys want to take an
Yeah,
opportunity to
absolutely.
shout your stuff out to everyone, I feel like now's the time. Alu, you go first.
All right, twitch.tv/alluppercase. You can find me on YouTube, I guess, even though I'm toying with the idea of expanding my YouTube a bit, so I don't have much yet. But find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/alluppercase. I do challenge run, speed run content for all the Doom games. Yeah.
Waifu.
Yeah, so I'm just Waifu. I speedrun a lot of games. Devil May Cry, Left 4 Dead, Doom, of course. I have been on the forefront of some restricted speedruns. So if you're interested in seeing what the speedrun for this game looks like when you're not teleporting to the end, it's you'll see that. I just got a 2:23 in Nightmare
Yeah, we
restricted
kind of
today.
sidestepped talking about anything any percent, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, because it's like everyone knows it's a Doom game. It's gonna be
Gosh darn.
super broken. It's gonna be like 30 minutes by the
Yeah.
end of the week, like. But
Yeah.
I am a full-time content creator, YouTuber, Twitch streamer. Make video essays. I'm sure you'll see one about Doom the Dark Ages very soon. All sorts of challenge run content as well. I got a lot of stuff that I want to do for this game as long as it continues to be fun, which it has been very much so far. And I just want to thank Rytro for putting this together and having a conversation with us. It's really awesome. It just went
Absolutely.
full time pretty recently, so
Yeah,
give him
no.
some love. Say what's up. Follow him on Twitch. Watch his YouTube content.
Thanks, dudes.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, no. And for everyone else, I'm Rytro. With an underscore or without an underscore, who knows at this point. But yeah, I do the YouTubes. I make nerdy videos breaking down game speedruns and the occasional funny ha-has of a challenge run. Also find me on Twitch, Rytro with an underscore, where I stream doing those things when I remember to or am in the mood. But yeah, oh, also, I guess, I don't think we mentioned this. Allu, we talked a lot about the max sliders. You're routing UN right now on stream, right?
Yes, that's the goal. I'm trying to get a lot better at Nightmare before I do any UN attempts, basically, but keeping death counters, just trying to lower that enough before I. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make that distinction because I just finished that, so I thought, yeah, pretty nice thing. And then Waifu, you're still doing the any percent restricted runs, whatever that run will be, right?
Yep, I'm doing 80% restricted on Nightmare currently.
Okay.
See how fast we can get that.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate you, but we'll probably call it out here. Have a good one, folks. And streaming has stopped. Thank you so much.